Seeing me stay at home, reading web novels, earning millions a day but still unable to find a wife, my mom actually packed me up and sent me straight to a dating reality show as a guest. Thus, I decided to completely let myself go and slack off in order to be eliminated by the production team. However, just because I said rabbits are delicious, I ended up being stuck with the national goddess. At this moment, I was pulled into a WeChat group called Heartbeat Melody by the director. This group is specifically for you all to enhance your feelings. As you can see, there are 4 male guests and 3 female guests in the group. The extra male guest, if he fails to receive a heartbeat call from a female guest, will have to take the initiative to exit and won't be able to participate in the upcoming live broadcasts. Hearing this, I felt a secret joy in my heart. Wasn't this the perfect opportunity for me? So I immediately sent a greeting to everyone in the group. As soon as I popped up, someone quickly added me to chat. I want you to go on a trip with me. I want to talk to you. That is not my fault. What are you looking at? The group suddenly fell into a brief silence. As long as I didn't leave a good impression on the female guests during the chat, no one would give me a heartbeat call. Then, I could be eliminated. Before long, someone named One Little White Rabbit jumped out to liven up the atmosphere. What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you think of me? I want to tell you something. I want to talk to you. The group fell into a brief silence again. Haha, why don't we all introduce ourselves first? You are the cutest girl I've ever seen. I want to tell you. What are you saying? What are you doing? What are you looking at? What are you doing? What are you looking at? What are you doing? After several rounds of chatting, almost no one in the group paid attention to me anymore. My replies were treated as if they were transparent. The director beside me kept winking and making faces at me. I felt utterly exhausted. This is a dating show. Shouldn't the chat be sweet and full of pink bubbles? How did it turn into a one-man comedy show? Ha ha ha, Yu's replies are killing me. I can feel the rebellion in his bones. At this rate, he's probably going to be eliminated. Who could stand that? He's so handsome. It's a pity he has a mouth. It's a waste of that face. At this time, I was waiting for the elimination notice with full anticipation. After all, if I were eliminated, it wouldn't count as me breaching the contract. But to my complete surprise, my phone actually rang. I clearly performed so perfectly in the group just now. How could someone still call me? When I saw the caller's screen name, One Little White Rabbit, I immediately understood. Someone wasn't playing by the rules. Little Rabbit, you didn't make this call just to scold me, did you? Mo was stunned when she heard the other party's voice. Because of Yu's remarks in the group just now, she had imagined his image and voice in her mind, thinking he would be an unkempt, sloppy old man with an ugly voice. But now, the voice coming from the other end was completely different from what she imagined. It didn't sound old at all. It was actually quite pleasant. This changed Mo's impression of Yu a lot. However, subconsciously, she still thought he was an older scumbag. Just an older scumbag with a nice voice now. Yes, I am here to scold you. You clearly know I like little rabbits, so why would you say you like eating them? That's very impolite. Mo's voice was clear and clean, very recognizable. Even though she said she was scolding me, her tone sounded more like acting cute and pouting. An approximate image of the person appeared in my mind, a sophisticated workplace woman with long, permed, wavy hair. But no matter what she looked like, I didn't really want to deal with her, so I started talking nonsense. My liking for spicy rabbit heads and your liking for little rabbits have no direct connection. I'm not eating the one you like. We are both expressing our own preferences. It just so happens the things we like are both rabbits. Mo blinked her big eyes, feeling that what he said seemed to make some sense, yet feeling something wasn't quite right. Sorry, I misunderstood you. Hearing Mo's apology, I was stunned for a moment, and a slight smile unconsciously appeared at the corner of my mouth. I didn't know if this girl was pure or just plain stupid. She was so easy to fool. It's okay, I forgive you. The director on the side had a dark face the whole time, screaming helplessly in his heart. This is a dating show. We are live, I must endure it. When the audience in the live room saw the two of them chatting in such a strange style, they also sent bullet comments frantically. Do you even know what you called him for? She's completely been led astray. I mean, Mo is just too easy to trick. I'm dying of laughter, ha ha ha. How can this child be so naive? She said she was going to settle scores with you, but ended up apologizing herself. Mo had officially debuted in the entertainment industry through a talent show. She was currently just a newcomer, but she had a lot of fans and high popularity in the live room. This was mainly because before entering the entertainment industry, She had already won numerous awards in dance and piano, accumulating a lot of popularity. The two of us chatted aimlessly for a few more sentences. I was bored and really wanted to hang up, but the production team stipulated that the call must last for half an hour. I couldn't hang up before the time was up. Little White Rabbit Mo looked for a topic. How about we introduce ourselves first? My name is Mo. You can just call me Momo. I debuted a month ago. Leaning on the sofa in a relaxed and lazy manner, I replied casually, "My name is you. I'm a waste." Mo was shocked by this answer. Why would someone describe themselves like that? She didn't believe there were wastes in the world. She believed everyone is recognized in different fields and everyone has a meaning for their existence. Uncle, why do you describe yourself like that? You also said in the group earlier that you aren't a good person. You have to believe in yourself. I was speechless for a moment. Is this girl really a fool? Normally, people wouldn't respond to those words like that, right? Just because I say so doesn't mean I am. The world is full of truths and falsehoods. How do you know how much of what you hear is real? Since you aren't that kind of person, why use those words to describe yourself? It will leave a bad impression on others. Mo expressed that she didn't quite understand the logic in my words. I do things casually. There's no need to care about the feelings of irrelevant people. I'm not money. I can't make everyone like me, as long as I'm happy. I only live for myself. Mo was stunned and lost in thought. Since she was 2 years old, she had been required by her family to learn piano and dance. She was like a marionette, following a set routine and practicing hard to achieve the goals customized by her parents. She didn't even have many close friends. No one had ever told her to live for yourself. My words made her feel very refreshed. This person, you, seemed quite interesting. Suddenly, she was a little curious about what you actually looked like. Hey, little rabbit, how old are you? I guess you won't understand even if I tell you all this. I always felt that Mo's purity was mixed with a bit of silliness that didn't seem faked. I guess she wasn't very old. Mo put a piece of cantaloupe in her mouth and answered vaguely with bulging cheeks. I'm 20. I frowned and shouted sternly, "Don't eat while talking, have a proper attitude. I can't hear you clearly." Mo immediately swallowed the cantaloupe and straightened her back like a serious elementary school student. I'm 20 years old this year. What about you, Uncle? I'm only 6 years older than you. You aren't allowed to call me Uncle. You, don't you dare be mean to our Momo. Careful or I'll come for you. Momo is so cute. I don't want you to pair up with Momo. I don't want him to be with any female guest. Soon the half-hour call ended. Mo subconsciously waved goodbye to the phone. Only after finishing did she realize it was a voice call, and the other party couldn't see her at all. She hurriedly hid her hand behind her back and smiled awkwardly. After that, it was time for the male guest to call their heartbeat girls. I didn't have anyone I particularly wanted to call, so I settled for the next best thing and called Mo back. Thus, the two of us chatted for another half hour. With the end of the heartbeat calls, today's live broadcast also ended. The director officially announced a new task. Tomorrow, all guests will go to the Heartbeat House to live together for a month. Mo felt uneasy. They were going to meet tomorrow. She wondered what you would look like. How would he react when he saw her appearance? As soon as the live broadcast closed, Mo received a call from her manager. Mo, my dear, what were you thinking? Why did you decide to call that you? Do you know what that call represents? Sister Yuna, I know what I'm doing. I'm not a child anymore. Yuna rolled her eyes several times. That you is a non-celebrity guest invited this time. He's not in the entertainment industry at all. And look at the way he talks. It's too malicious. He could trick you into being sold and you'd still be happily counting the money for him. Mo felt it wasn't as exaggerated as Yuna said. I don't think so. I think he's quite interesting. Yuna slapped her forehead, feeling exhausted. I think you've really been protected too well by Chairman Su. You only know dance and music. Actually, I know quite a lot. All right, I know you know a lot. Just don't let my words go in one ear and out the other. I'm not joking with you. Stay away from you and don't talk to him. You went to Heartbeat Melody to show your face and increase your popularity. Avoid contact with mysterious people. Oh, Sister Yuna, I know. How can there be so many bad people in this world? Yuna knew that saying more wouldn't help much, so she stopped dwelling on it. How is your new song coming along? In another week, Singing Wildly will start recording. How about letting Chairman Su spend some money to hire a gold medal composer to write a song for you? I want to try it myself, I don't want to bother my family yet, Mo replied firmly. Since childhood, she had never done anything according to her own ideas. This time was her only all-in moment in 20 years. Especially after hearing my words about living for yourself. She became even more determined in her choice. The next day, Mo arrived at the Heartbeat House with her luggage. There were already 4 guests inside. Everyone was sitting in the living room chatting busily. Seeing Mo enter, the 4 people greeted her with smiles. You must be Mo, right? The little rabbit from the chat group. Kazuma took the suitcase from Mo's hand. He had been in the entertainment industry for many years. He knew the reputation of the daughter of the chairman of Star Entertainment Media. Naturally, he had to curry favor with the daughter of a big figure. Another male guest, Ren, wanted to take the bag from Mo's hand. Is your bag heavy? Let me help you. The chairman of Star Entertainment is like walking resources. Even if he couldn't form a couple with Mo in the end, becoming good friends would still be good. Mo looked up at everyone and smiled. Hello everyone, I'm Mo. Yes, that little rabbit. Ha ha ha. The 4 people in front of her were very enthusiastic, but she didn't know any of them. She didn't hand over her suitcase or the bag in her hand. Thank you everyone. I'll handle the luggage myself. Since not everyone had arrived, the rooms hadn't been assigned yet. After finding a spot for her luggage, Mo joined the small talk, waiting for the last guest to arrive. Little rabbit, have some tea to moisten your throat. Kazuma proactively poured tea and brought it to Mo. Seeing how proactive Kazuma was, Ren also stood up and asked Mo, Are you hungry? I have cheesecake in my bag. Do you want to try some? No, thank you. Mo refused with a smile. Ren smiled and said nothing more, then asked the other guests if they wanted cake. Ami asked while eating cheesecake, I wonder who the last guest will be. Only Dancy and Fat Tiger are left now, right? Who will be eliminated? She was a second-tier singer, only one step away from being first-tier. Her main goal in participating in this show was to create a couple hype with Kazuma, to increase her popularity. She didn't expect to be shut down by the person named Dancy in the group on the first day of recording. She had an extremely bad impression of Dancy now, and only hoped he was the one eliminated. Kazuma quickly chimed in, The one eliminated should be Dancy, right? His remarks in the group were too anti-human. Who would give him a heartbeat call? Mo, who had not only called Dancy, but also chatted for an hour, buried her head lower out of guilt. It can't be Dancy. The last guest must be Fat Tiger. That guy Dancy really defiles the name, Dancy. At first, I thought it was the famous teacher Dancy himself. But then I thought, Teacher Dancy has never shown his face, so how could he participate in our show? I really want him to change his screen name. Amy's voice got louder as she spoke. I wonder what Fat Tiger looks like. I'm quite curious. Just then, the door of the Heartbeat House was pushed open again. He's here, the last guest is here, who could it be? I just started watching the live broadcast today. Can anyone give me a hint? I was in Ami's live room yesterday. I don't know the situation of the other guests, but it absolutely cannot be Dancy. Upvote, +1. I don't like Dancy either. Female stars don't have masochistic tendencies. They wouldn't call him. The one coming is definitely Fat Tiger. But those who were in my and Mo's live rooms yesterday seemed to form a silent understanding at this moment. They all knew the person coming was Dancy, but they just didn't say it. They silently watched everyone guess, holding back their laughter, waiting for the moment Dancy appeared to see the drama. Ami stuffed the last bit of cheesecake into her mouth, licked her finger, and continued to smile. Everyone here seems to have been teased by Dancy, right? I really can't imagine why such a person exists. It's just bizarre. In her heart, she was certain Dancy must have been eliminated and wouldn't continue to participate in the show. Plus, Dancy was just a passerby, so she wasn't afraid of offending him, which made her speech even bolder. Her gaze swept over all the guests. Anyway, I didn't call him. I assume you all couldn't have done such a foolish thing either? Another female guest, Hana, nodded. I didn't call either. Mo awkwardly took a few sips of tea. She really wanted to say that she had actually called Dancy, but she didn't want to admit she was foolish. Finally, after a great internal struggle, she prepared to speak up. Actually, Before she could finish, she heard the front door being opened from the outside, and a man walked in pulling a suitcase. Mo was the first to look up toward the door because she knew that you, who had chatted with her for an hour yesterday, had arrived. She saw a tall, lean man wearing a simple white, short-sleeved t-shirt. "This is you? Isn't he an uncle?" Mo muttered in her heart, confused. To her surprise, the man appearing before her now was smiling, with a high bridge of the nose and distinct facial contours. He looked very young, sunny, clean, and handsome. Even better looking than the other two male guests present. The other guests also saw me. Knowing that the last guest was just a non-celebrity, they didn't show any particular enthusiasm, but they weren't very dismissive either. I smiled and said, "Oh, so lively. It seems I'm the last one to arrive." Mo walked out from the dining table and greeted me enthusiastically. "Dancy, you're finally here. I'm the little white rabbit, Mo, who called you yesterday." Hearing this, the faces of the other four guests changed instantly. What? This is Dancy? Not Fat Tiger? And Mo was the one who proactively called him? They all stared at Mo. Their faces were full of doubt and disbelief. Kazuma and Ren frowned imperceptibly, and their gaze toward me changed. Although Mo had been smiling at them earlier, it was clearly just out of politeness. But now, Mo seemed a bit different toward me. Mo didn't notice the others' gazes. Her heart was beating like a drum. She wondered if I would be as shocked as she was when I found out she was the little white rabbit. She was even a little excited to see how I would reply to her. But I just replied casually, "You actually look quite smart." Through our previous phone call, I had always felt Mo wasn't very bright and that she would have a bit of a silly aura in person. But looking at her now, she didn't. Mo was very dissatisfied with my reaction and reply. She pouted and said, "I was always smart. Ha ha ha. He always says the most surprising things. His brain logic is something we normal people can't imagine." "Is this you? He's so handsome." Bullying our Momo again. She's not silly. She's just pure. It's over. I'm a visual person. Looking at you's face, I feel like whatever he says is right. Look at the expressions on the other guests. Faces though. Ha ha ha. Dying of laughter. I put my luggage away and sat across from Mo. With that, all 6 guests had arrived. The 3 male guests sat in a row, and the 3 female guests sat in a row opposite. Mo spoke with a look of guilt. "I wanted to tell everyone just now that the last guest was Dancy, but I was interrupted before I could finish, so I didn't say it. I only called yesterday because I was provoked and wanted to scold him in a fit of anger. Actually, he's a very good person." Although the other 4 guests had smiles on their faces, they were rolling their eyes in their hearts. "You as a good person? We don't see it at all." Seeing the atmosphere was a bit awkward, Kazuma laughed loudly. "Ha ha ha! Finally everyone is here. For the next month, please give me your guidance." Guidance for the next month, ha ha ha. As the first-tier singer with the highest status, Kazuma continued to lead the topic. "Let's talk about our respective jobs." "You? What is your current job?" Mo asked tentatively. There was no mystery about the other guests' jobs. They all revolved around the entertainment industry. Only my status as a non-celebrity made people curious. As soon as she asked the question, everyone else's attention focused on me. Kazuma smiled and agreed. "Right, we've mostly finished introducing ourselves. You, tell us about yourself." I sat in the chair and replied very casually, "No job." The guests were a bit confused by this answer. Mo carefully spoke up. "Are you still in school or studying for a master's?" Mo calculated in her heart. At the age of 26, it was normal to be studying for a master's and not have a job. I remained indifferent. "Graduated long ago. I'm just gnawing on the old, living off my parents at home." As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked again. Living off his parents? This is a live broadcast. Can you even say that? Do you have to be so honest? Everyone looked at me with strange expressions, and Mo didn't know how to respond. Director Sato looked at the scene, cold sweat dripping from his forehead. This is a dating reality show. Would Yu's answer make the show lose all its popularity? I could feel the gazes everyone was casting toward me, but I didn't care. After all, I only had to hang around the show for a month before going back home. No one would know anyone. Looking at Mo's conflicted expression, Kazuma was incredibly happy. He was originally worried Mo might like me, but now it seemed he had overthought it. With my conditions, how could Mo possibly like me? "Haha, brother, you're really humorous." Surely your family has some industry for you to be responsible for? Like me, if I can't make it in the entertainment industry, I have to go home and inherit the family business. In fact, his parents just ran a small factory. It couldn't compare to Mo's family business at all. However, he completely avoided mentioning that, wanting to pose in front of Mo to elevate himself. I really don't have that. My parents are farmers. If you're talking about an industry for me to be responsible for, does farm work count? I looked at the speechless and bewildered expressions of the few people and laughed even harder. Ha ha ha, what kind of wonderful person is you? He silenced everyone in 3 sentences. Even though Yu is a slacker and lives off his parents, why do I somehow like him? Wake up upstairs. You're just purely attracted to his looks. Tisk. He sounds so confident about living off his parents. Is that something to brag about? I really don't like you. He's better than those fake celebrities, and he did say he helps with farm work. Living off the old is probably just self-deprecation. After hearing this, Kazuma looked at me with even more disdain, but he was secretly delighted. Now Mo probably wouldn't pay attention to you anymore. Just as he was about to talk to Mo, he heard the "won't pay attention to you." Mo say to me, "Wow, you can do farm work. That's amazing. What is it usually like to do farm work?" She felt that while I sometimes spoke in a puzzling way, I had no bad intentions. At the same time, she respected farmers and didn't think I had any problems. She even genuinely wanted to know how farmers work, since she had never seen it in her life. I looked up and saw Mo's big, blinking eyes. She looked like a little puppy staring at me, her eyes revealing a clear stupidity. Seeing this silly girl's dazed look, the corner of my mouth unconsciously turned up. Generally, farmers face the soil with their backs to the sky. It is indeed quite hard, but I'm a bit different. I use lasers for weeding. My expression was very serious, and my tone was calm, without any sign of fooling her. You know laser hair removal, right? It's the same principle. It's all machine operated. I just need to sit at home and wait. Robot farming, robot pest control. There are only 2 such machines in the world, and they happen to both be at my house. Mo was stunned. She believed it. She blinked her big eyes. Really? Wow, so cool! I thought to myself, it seems this girl really is a fool. The other guests didn't want to speak and kept rolling their eyes. Like, hell, we believe you. Kazuma's face turned sour. Those 2 were chatting endlessly, and he couldn't get a word in at all. This was not what he had imagined. He slapped the table, forcibly interrupting the conversation. Everyone probably hasn't eaten yet. Let's get something to eat first. Seeing me and Mo chatting so warmly, Rin was also quite unhappy. I'll cook. I'm quite good at Western food. I studied abroad for a few years. As he spoke, he glanced at the 3 female guests with a proud face. If he could be surrounded by a group of women, the feeling of being the center of attention would make him even happier. Hana felt it was incredible. Ren, you can make Western food? That's so cool! I only know how to make simple dishes, and they don't even taste good. Ami said I only know how to make noodles. Being able to make Western food is indeed very impressive. Ren was elated by the praise. He raised an eyebrow and looked at me and Mo. Can you cook? What kind of dishes are you good at? Of course, he asked this because he wanted me to make a fool of myself in front of everyone, while showing off his own culinary skills. I couldn't be bothered with him and said nonchalantly, I'm good at eating. Ha ha ha! Moe, who was on the side, couldn't help but laugh out loud at this answer, but without a hint of mockery. She thought I was indeed very interesting. It was her first time meeting someone who spoke so casually, without pretense. It felt very comfortable and unconstrained. Me too, I'm only good at eating, she said with crescent moon eyes, mimicking me. Ren's expression stiffened. His intention was to make me lose face in front of Mo. But it didn't seem to work. You girls should rest for a while. You must be tired from the journey to the Heartbeat House today. Leave the cooking to us, guys. When he saw the ingredients in the refrigerator, his face showed difficulty. The production team is too stingy. They only prepared a few eggs, fruit, noodles, and this tiny piece of beef. It's not enough for all of us. At this moment, Director Sato's voice came from the side. Today is everyone's first day gathering at the Heartbeat House. The production team will arrange the food. Starting tomorrow, you will have to rely on your own hard work to earn money to use as your dating startup fund. If you can't earn money, you'll have to go hungry. After speaking, he playfully added, Good luck, I have high hopes for you. As soon as he finished speaking, A chorus of wails immediately erupted inside the heartbeat house. Ren suddenly slapped his head with a look of realization. When I came, I stuffed high-grade Wagyu beef into my suitcase, as well as caviar and black truffles. I'll go get them. Let's eat those today. After speaking, he ran toward his suitcase. This full-blood Wagyu has an import quota of only 20 cows a month. It's very hard to buy. I was lucky this time and specifically brought it for you to taste, knowing I was going on the show. Kazuma, seeing the situation, stepped up to help Ren. Helping out would not only build his persona as a diligent worker, but if the dish turned out badly later, he wouldn't have to take the blame. It would all be Ren's responsibility. Ren, let me assist you. Sure, help me blanch the pasta. Just boil it for 8 to 10 minutes. Thus, Ren began searing the steaks. Kazuma acted as the assistant, while Ami and Hana helped with minor tasks. Mo wanted to go up and help, but she really didn't know how, so she could only watch from the side. As for me, I stuck to my motto of being an expert eater, sitting on the sofa watching everyone bustle about. It wasn't that I didn't want to help, it was just that the kitchen was only so big, and there was no need to force my way in. So I lay on the sofa, snacking on melon seeds while watching TV. Kazuma and Ren are both so great. Unlike that other guy, doesn't know how to do anything. Truly useless. You is just being authentic. Unlike some people who only know how to put on a show and fake a persona. I just like you. When the steaks were halfway done, Ren asked Mo, Mo, how would you like your steak cooked? Whatever is fine. Actually, she didn't really care. She ate steak quite often. Ami raised her hand. I'll have mine medium. Hana followed suit. Me too. Ren smiled and said, you two know your food. Medium steak has the best texture, not too raw and not too tough. He glanced at me, hesitated for a moment, didn't ask, and prepared mine medium as well. After topping them with black truffles and bringing the steaks to the table, everyone was eager to try. Ami looked at the steak on the table. Wow, it smells so good. High-quality Wagyu really is different. Hana gave Ren a thumbs up. You really do have some skills. This really works up an appetite. Mo also spoke the truth. Not bad at all. You've studied this, haven't you? Seeing that even Mo, who never praised anyone, was actually complimenting him, Ren said joyfully, hey, I studied abroad. Hurry and try it. It tastes even better than it looks. The group couldn't wait to take a bite. It was indeed delicious. Mo took a bite and nodded along. The flavor is good. I fumbled with the knife and fork in my hand and felt it was very awkward. I set the knife down and went to the kitchen to grab a pair of chopsticks. Noticing the movement, Ren immediately burst out laughing. Ha ha ha, don't tell me you've never eaten steak before? Who eats steak with chopsticks? Seeing me using chopsticks to pick up a whole piece of steak and getting ready to put it in my mouth, Ami, Hana, and Kazuma all let out soft chuckles. Steak is supposed to be eaten with a knife and fork. Look, like this. Fork in the left hand, knife in the right. Kazuma sat up straight, manipulating his cutlery and cutting a piece of steak, slowly lifting it to his mouth. In his mind, he imagined his elegant image, while eating, would surely make many fans scream. The quality of this steak is truly excellent. It's a real enjoyment. He then looked at me and said in a teacher-like tone, see that? This is the correct way to eat steak. It's normal that you haven't had it. Coming from the countryside, it's easy to learn. Although he looked down on my act of using chopsticks, he had to mind his image in front of the camera. I thought to myself, this guy is interesting. It sounded like he was looking out for me, yet his words were laced with a bit of bitterness. Moreover, those words were clearly directed at me, but he wore a gentlemanly smile for the camera, specifically positioning his hands with the cutlery so the camera could get a close-up of his fair, slender fingers. Sure enough, after Kazuma's series of maneuvers, the live stream was filled with screams. Ah, Kazuma is so gentle. His hands are so beautiful. Dream hands. His smile is so handsome. He's such a good person, and so patient in teaching you. I'm a fan now. I naturally wasn't going to let him have his way. Placing my elbows on the table, I picked up the chopsticks with a very standard posture, then turned slightly so the camera could capture both my profile and my hand, revealing a bright, sunny smile. I think I'll pass on learning. My chopstick posture is very standard. I can pick up food just fine. I don't need auxiliary tools. Then, I picked up the steak in front of me again and asked intentionally. Chopsticks are something passed down from our ancestors. Are you not using them because you can't pick anything up with them? The bullet comments exploded instantly. You truly deserves the public vote. He's incredibly handsome, even his hands are gorgeous. I'm licking the screen. Ha ha ha, why does you feel so passively aggressive? I love it. I support you. Who says you have to use a knife and fork for steak? Some people go abroad for a few trips and think they're high and mighty, forgetting the things our ancestors left behind. In comparison, Kazuma looks so fake and greasy. The popularity of the live stream surged instantly, with most people coming for me. It was a first for a dating show to invite a farmer, and everyone found it refreshing. What they didn't expect was that this country person would be so authentic. Kazuma's face looked terrible. He didn't expect me to talk back. After all, he was an A-list singer with the highest status among the guests. For me, a commoner, not to give him face was unexpected. What does that have to do with knowing how to use chopsticks? Steak should be eaten with a knife and fork. His tone grew irritable, though he tried his best to restrain himself. Who made that rule? As long as you can get full, isn't that enough? Just as Kazuma was about to continue, Mo stood up and headed for the kitchen. I suddenly want to eat steak with chopsticks too. She brought out a pair of chopsticks from the kitchen and said to me with a smile, "My chopstick hold doesn't seem very standard. Can you teach me?" Although her manager, Yuna, had warned her not to have too much contact with me, she felt Kazuma was being too aggressive. On the contrary, I felt more authentic to her, unrestrained and with a broader perspective. She took the chopsticks and walked behind Kazuma. "Senior Kazuma, can I switch seats with you? I want you to teach me how to use chopsticks." At this point, Kazuma's face was pitch black, but in front of the camera he couldn't lose his temper and refuse. "Of course, go ahead and sit." The other two female guests looked at each other and followed one after another to the kitchen. "I'll eat steak with chopsticks too. It seems like it would be satisfying. I want to use them too." The entire dining room suddenly went silent. Except for the sound of them using chopsticks, no other voices could be heard. The atmosphere was very eerie. Kazuma looked at Mo and me sitting next to each other. His hands gripping the cutlery were trembling. Mo has the grace a wealthy socialite should have. Rich people aren't petty like Kazuma. I feel embarrassed for Kazuma through the screen. What should I do? I'm starting to ship you and Mo. Shipping everything will only hurt you. How could Mo possibly like you? She's just trying to bail him out. Setting everything else aside, they really match in terms of looks. I don't care. The universal Mo CP is official for me. To the person above, the show just started. I suggest you don't start shipping randomly yet. I looked at Mo, who was gazing at me with a beaming smile, and thought to myself that this silly girl was quite loyal. I demonstrated with the chopsticks for Mo. Like this. Put your index finger here and your middle finger here. You try. Mo tilted her little head, watching the chopsticks in my hand. After a moment, she began to adjust her own grip. However, a 20-year habit wasn't easy to correct in a short time. After she adjusted to a posture she thought was correct, she eagerly held them out to me, her big watery eyes looking at me expectantly like a child waiting for a grown-up's praise. "Look at me, is it like this?" "No," I reached out, one hand holding Mo's chopsticks, and the other holding her fingers to adjust them. Mo felt like she had been hit by an electric current. Her mind went blank instantly, her cheeks flushed bright red, and even the tips of her ears turned pink. She felt like she was about to be steamed, with steam practically coming out of her ears. Her fingers stiffened, letting me manipulate them. In all her life, she had never had contact with a strange man besides her father and brother. The sudden touch left her not knowing how to react. This finger should be here. There. That's right. Unaware of what Mo was thinking, I corrected her movement and said with satisfaction, "Remember this position. Now try holding them again and let me see." How could Mo remember any positions? Her mind was completely empty now. It was already good enough that she hadn't forgotten how she used to hold them. Seeing her not moving for a long time, I shifted my gaze from the chopsticks to Mo's face in confusion. "Why is your face so red? Are you feeling unwell?" Mo finally snapped out of it, quickly cupping her cheeks with both hands. It seems the air conditioning is set a bit high. It's quite hot, ha 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 ha." Then she suddenly bolted from her seat and rushed toward the kitchen. "Do you guys want fruit? I'll go peel some." Running too fast, she accidentally stumbled and bumped her head against the kitchen door frame, recoiling 2 steps. "Are you okay?" I wanted to get up to check on her, but I saw Mo rub her bumped forehead, angrily hit the door frame once, then quickly rush into the kitchen and close the door. Looking at Mo's clumsy behavior, I shook my head with a smile. They say rabbits have poor eyesight. It seems to be true. Ha ha ha, Mo is so cute. You stay away from our Moa, huh? Is she shy? You, this big blockhead, didn't notice at all. Seriously. You, what nonsense are you talking about? What position? I don't understand. I picked up my chopsticks again to eat the steak, and a metallic, raw taste immediately spread through my mouth. Looking down, the steak I had bitten into was actually oozing blood. It made me feel a bit nauseous. It needed to be seared more. But just as I stood up, Ren's slightly mocking voice came over. Where are you going? You're not planning to go back and re-sear that steak, are you? Medium is the most tender and delicious. It's just that you don't know how to eat it. He already didn't have a good impression of me because of the chopstick incident, and seeing me teach Mo made him even more upset. Now this move of mine made him even more dissatisfied. Don't take it back and ruin it. If you find it so hard to eat, just don't eat it. Give the steak back to me. I pushed the steak in front of me toward Ren. As if anyone cares, you won't even let me heat it up. With that, I got up and walked toward the kitchen. I remember there's a piece of beef left by the production team in the fridge, right? Believe it or not, I can make that taste better than your steak. Hearing this, Ami and Hana both laughed. No one expected anyone to compare high-quality full-blood Wagyu with ordinary beef. Ren was also moved to angry laughter. Do you know what you're saying? This is top-tier full-blood Wagyu. The cattle are shipped from abroad with pure lineage. How could the texture possibly be compared to that generic beef in the fridge? Once I make it, we'll see if they can be compared. Hearing that I was going to cook some beef, Hana immediately came to my side and asked tentatively, what dish are you planning to make with the production team's beef? Beef stew with potatoes. I answered casually. Beef with potatoes? I've had that. The others in the dining room also heard our conversation. The color returned to Ren's dark face. Beef stew with potatoes? How could that possibly compare to my full-blood Wagyu? Ha ha ha. Mo looked at me worriedly and asked softly, how sure are you? She had tasted the steak Ren made. From her years of experience eating steak, Ren's quality was indeed high, and his technique was good. It would be difficult for me to surpass it. She had already decided that even if my beef wasn't as good as Ren's, she would stand by me and speak up for me. I gave her a bright smile. Don't worry. You was too impulsive this time. He's still too young. He can't win against those old foxes. He's probably going to fall into a pit this time. I remember when Ren asked you what he was good at cooking earlier, you's answer was expert eater. I feel like he probably doesn't know how to cook. He's just talking big because he's too proud. I feel for you. He's really pushing it. Impulsiveness is the devil. How can beef and potatoes compare to full-blood steak? Kazuma saw an opportunity and pretended to remind me. The production team only gave us that little bit of beef and potatoes. They're public resources, right? The team won't provide us with free food after this. Shouldn't we be a bit more thrifty? All of our ingredients are in your hands now. Don't go wasting them. Ren quickly caught on to Kazuma's keywords, public resources and waste. He suddenly realized, that's right, you. We gave you steak and you wouldn't eat it, and now you're wasting public resources. Have you thought about what we'll eat later? Hearing the two of them acting in concert, I shot back directly. Since it's a public resource, why can't I use it? Didn't Director Sato say earlier that we have to earn our own money later? Or are you planning to just live off what we have and never go out to earn anything? Whichever female guest picks you is truly unlucky. Ren was absolutely fuming. If it weren't for the cameras, he would have exploded. Of course you can use it. But you should be clear. The so-called public resources don't belong to you alone. If your cooking is good and we all like the dish, then there's no problem. But do you know how to cook? Can you make something we all love? You think making a dish everyone loves is that simple? Cooking isn't just about flipping something over. He wanted to continue showing off for the camera, but I cut him off. Isn't your steak just searing it, flipping it, and searing it again? That one sentence left Ren speechless, so angry he nearly bent the fork in his hand. Finally, he forced himself to swallow his pride. I operated methodically in the kitchen. Once the beef was seasoned, I added the potatoes and let it simmer over low heat. Mo's eyes were bright as she leaned in and sniffed. She said joyfully, "Wow, I think I smell the aroma." The scent isn't strong enough yet. It'll be even better after simmering a bit longer. Really? I'm so looking forward to it. I haven't had beef stew with potatoes in so long I've almost forgotten what it tastes like. I timed it in my head, then said to Mo, "Give me the eggs I asked you to peel just now." Mo obediently handed over the boiled and peeled eggs. "There are still some I haven't finished peeling. It's fine. Keep those for making tea eggs." Mo nodded. "What do you want these peeled eggs for?" In her mind, boiled eggs were usually just eaten plain after peeling, but seeing my stance, she knew I had a trick up my sleeve. Soon, she saw me make a small cut in each egg and put them into the frying pan together. Mo carefully poked her little head out to observe the activity in the pan. Can eggs actually be fried in oil? What do they become? I looked back at her like I was looking at an idiot. An egg that's been fried becomes a fried egg, tiger skin egg. "Oh, I see," Mo replied. And it took a moment before she realized something was off. "Wasn't what you said just nonsense?" "No, I meant to ask, if you fry the eggs like this, will they become a specific dish?" "Tiger skin eggs." Seeing Mo's smiling eyes, I stopped teasing her. When the beef and potatoes were almost done, I added the tiger skin eggs and let it continue to simmer on a low flame. I waited for the tiger skin eggs to soak up the sauce, then blanched the handmade noodles left by the production team. Mixing the noodles with the sauce was the soul of the dish. Smelling the aroma, Ami and Hana couldn't help but enter the kitchen. "It smells so good. We can smell it all the way in the dining room," Hana said with a smile. "It really does smell wonderful. Is it almost ready?" Ami added from behind. As soon as the two of them entered the kitchen, they naturally squeezed Mo away from my side. They started asking me things about the dish. Mo felt a bit stifled for some reason. I brought out a large clay pot. "It's coming out. Stand back a bit so you don't get splashed." Ami and Hana said, "Oh," and reflexively stepped back, waiting for my beef stew with potatoes to be served. Mo immediately came skipping over. "It's out! It smells so good! I really want to eat!" Ami also smiled honestly. "It really is fragrant. I didn't expect you to actually know how to cook you. You kept it hidden when we asked earlier." Seeing the three female guests hovering around me, Ren became even more annoyed. "Smelling good doesn't mean it tastes good. We still have to taste it." "That's true. How can you know if a dish is good just by the smell?" Kazuma added. "Beef is always fragrant when you cook it, but it might not taste good. If you're not careful, it'll be overcooked and tough." Does anyone want to make a bet? Yu's beef and potatoes versus Ren's full-blood Wagyu. I bet Yu's won't be good. Or rather, it can't possibly be as good as Ren's steak. I ignored their words and lifted the lid of the clay pot. A more intense aroma surged out. At the moment I lifted the lid, everyone smelled the enticing fragrance. Even though they had already eaten steak, smelling such rich, stewed beef still made them feel a hint of hunger. Mo couldn't wait to pick up her chopsticks and was the first to put a piece of beef in her mouth. Her eyes instantly widened, and she nodded excitedly while shouting, "Delicious!" Seeing Mo's reaction, Ami and Hana also picked up a piece of meat to eat. The moment the beef entered their mouths, their expressions visibly changed, from neutral to joyful. "It really is delicious. The beef is so tender, and being wrapped in this rich sauce is just perfect. How did you make this sauce? I want to learn." Hana also nodded in agreement. "It's truly delicious. Better than any beef stew with potatoes I've ever had. Actually, better than any beef I've ever had." As a total foodie, she was so excited by the delicious food that she forgot Ren was standing right there and spoke her mind. Ren's face was a kaleidoscope of unpleasantness. He could tell from the three women's expressions that my beef was indeed delicious. Even if the viewers watching the stream couldn't taste it, they could clearly see whose beef was better. He couldn't even try to disparage it anymore. Kazuma had already thought of how to lead his fans to hate on me, but at this moment he went silent. Not trying a piece would make him look petty, so he had to bite the bullet and taste it. Ren didn't say anything on the surface, but in his mind, 10,000 grass mud horses, insults, were racing past. Didn't he say he was only an expert eater and couldn't cook? After taking a bite of the beef, Ren and Kazuma whispered, it's actually all right. Wait, didn't they say smelling good doesn't mean it tastes good? Now they're all eating with such gusto. Ha ha ha, Ren, do you dare to say it any louder? Who are you whispering to? Where are all those people who bet on you losing and Ren winning? Where'd they go? I leaned back leisurely in the dining chair, watching everyone eat, and suddenly had a thought for making money. Ami repeated her question from earlier. You, how did you season this sauce? Teach me. I love it too much. It's my secret recipe, not for outsiders. I gave a mysterious smile, looking profound. Ami pouted and didn't ask again. Mo shifted her attention to the tiger skin eggs, but she failed to pick one up several times. Finally, she huffed and poked the egg hard with her chopstick to claim it, smiling like a fool. Hee hee, finally caught you. With that, she took a bite. The fried skin of the egg had soaked up the sauce perfectly, making every bite incredibly flavorful. Hana was stunned and quickly asked, "What is this? Why is it different from the eggs I've seen? I haven't seen it either." Ami immediately picked up an egg too. They truly hadn't seen eggs like this before, and didn't even know eggs could be eaten this way. Heavenly! It's my first time eating it. So good! How can an egg be so flavorful? Tiger skin eggs, so magical. Hearing Hana say that, Ren and Kazuma also quietly tried to reach for an egg. But before their chopsticks could touch the eggs, I blocked them. I pulled the clay pot toward me. Tasting time is over. If you want more, you have to pay. Of course, I know you don't have money right now. How about we deduct it from the money you earn tomorrow? Based on what? Hearing that he had to pay to eat, Ren immediately flared up. You used public resources to cook, and you're charging us to eat? This, beef, eggs, and potatoes all have our share in them. Why are you charging? They are indeed public resources, but I only made enough for me and the little rabbit, Mo. I didn't touch your portions of the ingredients in the fridge. If you don't want to pay, go make it yourselves. I worked hard to cook this. It's only right to charge a labor fee, isn't it? As long as you're willing to pay, I'll even process your remaining ingredients in the fridge for you. I'm not asking for much, 15 yen per person. Then I looked at Mo. The little rabbit can eat as much as she wants for free. Seeing that no one was speaking, I wasn't flustered. I picked up a piece of potato. It was flavorful and soft. Oh right, there are noodles, aren't there? Noodles mixed with this sauce are the best. I said as I poured the noodles into the rich sauce, stirring so every strand was coated. Then I lifted a forkful of noodles into the air, steaming, fragrant, and beautifully colored. I slurped them down, truly delicious. Just like that, I started a live mukbang. The other guests were salivating. Ren and Kazuma, 2 men over 1.8 meters tall, hadn't eaten all day. One steak was nowhere near enough, and now the taste of the beef had truly whetted their appetites. Ren was exasperated. I didn't charge for my steak earlier. How can you have the nerve? I didn't mind. If you wanted to charge, you could have. Anyway, I'm only asking for 15 yen. The others were stunned again, speechless. It seemed Yu was right. He hadn't used their ingredients. Charging a processing fee was fair. Not charging would be a favor. And why should he do them any favors? After all, they hadn't given him a single good look since the beginning. Ren shouted to the cameraman, "Production team, aren't you going to do something? Is this reasonable?" Director Sato helplessly wiped the sweat from his face. This was truly the first time he'd seen a guest like this, directly finding a loophole. How was he supposed to manage it? To say it was unreasonable, he couldn't find a reason. To say it was reasonable, something felt off. But since Ren and Kazuma were big names, he couldn't afford to offend them, so he simply said, "No internal buying and selling." I shrugged. Fine by me, but I only made enough for me and the little rabbit. If you want to eat, you can cook it yourselves. Mo was also stunned by my move, not knowing how to choose. Ami and Hana were also speechless. Being stopped right when they were enjoying the food was an agonizing feeling. More importantly, this old rogue, me, was doing a live mukbang, making Ami and Hana swallow their saliva in hunger. I'll pay the 15. It'll be deducted from what I earn tomorrow, right? Hana was a total foodie, and holding out this long was already her limit. Seeing Hana give in, Ami also wavered. I'll pay 15 too. All right, sign this IOU and I'll make it for you. Once you sign, you can sit down and eat with the little rabbit. I then looked at Kazuma and Ren. If you two still haven't decided, I'll only make enough for them. I'm not going back into the kitchen for a third time. Kazuma finally broke. Okay, I'll pay 15 too. Ren looked at the other 3 in shock, cursed them as traitors in his heart, but then his stomach let out an unfaithful growl. The aroma of the beef and potatoes was shamelessly invading his nose. It made him keep reminiscing about those few bites he had earlier. He really wanted to eat more. And that tiger skin egg, he was just one step away from eating it. He really wanted to try it. Finally, his mental defenses collapsed, and he said weakly, "I'll give 15 too." Director Sato was speechless. Is it even useful for me to try and manage him? A wide smile spread across my face. I didn't force you guys. You all signed this of your own free will. The live stream chat exploded. Ha ha ha, this is killing me. These guys were acting like such tough talk kings just a second ago. Zhang Yu's beef and potato stew looks genuinely delicious. I'm getting hungry just watching through the screen. Am I the only one who thinks Zhang Yu is being unethical? This is way too selfish for a group setting. This is called being authentic and unpretentious. I love Zhang Yu's personality. Probably only ignorant people like you would like someone like him. Just wait for the heartbeat text segment. Let's see if a single female guest actually messages him. I think Mo will. She and Zhang Yu seem to have great chemistry. Sumoi's personality is compatible with everyone. She's a rich heiress. Do you really think she'd look twice at a petty guy like Zhang Yu? The chat room was in a heated debate with mixed reviews about me. They even started betting on whether I'd receive any messages during the heartbeat text segment. Most people were convinced I wouldn't get a single one. The heartbeat text, as the name implies, is a message you send only to the person you are interested in. The recipient doesn't know who the sender is. Sumo lowered her head, wanting to look at me sitting opposite her but not daring to be too obvious. Recalling what the director said about the heartbeat texts, she felt a faint sense of anticipation. As she remembered me teaching her how to use chopsticks, a flush of red quickly spread across her ears, and her cheeks felt warm. I looked up and saw Sumo with her face all flushed, staring intently at the bowl in front of her. She held a peeled egg in her hand but wasn't eating it. I had no idea what she was doing. Just as I was about to see what exactly was in her bowl, one caught a whiff of a faint floral scent drifting from her. Sumo looked up blankly and her eyes met mine. At this moment, her eyes were clear and her cheeks were rosy. She looked less like she was blushing and more like she was slightly tipsy after a few drinks. My heart skipped a beat. I quickly shifted my gaze away, landing it on the egg she was holding. Sumo didn't understand why I was staring at her bowl, so she held out the peeled egg to me. "Do you want to eat this?" I was slightly stunned. Although I didn't really want it, it felt rude not to take it. I took the egg and stuffed the whole thing into my mouth, chewing with bulging cheeks. Sumo was mesmerized. It was the first time she'd seen someone eat an egg like that, stuffing the whole thing in at once. It was amazing to her. Suddenly, finding this novel, she quickly grabbed another egg and started peeling it. I had just swallowed the first egg when I saw her handing me another freshly peeled one. She smiled at me with pure innocence, her eyes filled with a strange excitement and eagerness. It was the kind of excitement and exploration you feel when feeding a rare animal at a zoo. Seeing her so happy, I didn't have the heart to refuse. I took the egg and swallowed it in one go again. The excitement on Sumo's face grew even more intense. She quickly grabbed another egg and began peeling. After eating 7 or 8 tea eggs in a row, I let out a burp that tasted like eggs. I looked at the little rabbit still peeling away in confusion. What was wrong with her? Was she addicted to peeling eggs? If I'd known, I wouldn't have given her that task. I had accidentally unlocked a weird hobby of hers. Sumo smiled with satisfaction. She reached for another egg only to find the bowl was empty. Only then did she reluctantly withdraw her hand, her small head drooping slightly in disappointment. At that moment, the director called out through the megaphone. "Everyone should be finished eating by now, right? First go pick your dorms. The girls' dorm is on the 3rd floor, and the boys' is on the 2nd. Once you've settled in, start sending your heartbeat texts to the person you're interested in." I finally breathed a sigh of relief. I didn't have to eat any more eggs. I picked up my teacup and took a large gulp of water. Only then did I notice the other 4 guests staring at me with bizarre expressions. The 2 female guests, in particular, couldn't hide their shock. Mo is so cute, but why did she keep giving Zhang Yu eggs? I don't get it. I feel like Mo treats Zhang Yu like a little pet. Isn't this just feeding a pet? Looking at it this way, Sumoe will definitely send her heartbeat text to Zhang Yu, right? Sumo's personality is just being polite and smiling at everyone. Just because she helped him out doesn't mean she likes him. The person above is right. Moe is so pure-hearted. How could she possibly fall for Zhang Yu? To be honest, I kinda like Zhang Yu's personality, but his social status means Mo won't look at him. I feel like no one will message him. As the live stream continued, my popularity gradually rose, even trending towards surpassing the A-list singer Zhao Wen. Therefore, regarding the heartbeat text segment, people were more curious about whether someone like me would receive a message at all rather than who was messaging whom. The hashtag "Can Zanya receive a heartbeat text" actually climbed to the 10th spot on the trending search list. The 3 male guests sat together in the common area, thinking about which female guests to message. Meanwhile, the female guests were more shy, staying in their respective rooms to draft their texts. Zhao Wen clicked on the profiles of the 3 women, hesitating before finally sending his message to Sumoe. Although Sumoe had spent more time with me and even spoken up for me, he didn't believe for a second that she would actually be interested in someone like me. Tanyuan really wanted to form a connection with Sumoe, but he knew deep down she wouldn't be interested in him, so he messaged Yoon Ya-tong instead. I was lying lazily on the sofa. I found this whole heartbeat text thing boring. I didn't believe in love at first sight. It was all just attraction to looks. But since I had to send one, I clicked on Sumo's profile and sent Little Rabbit as a way to finish the task. I figured the little rabbit was more likable, silly, and easy to fool. Soon, one of the men received a message. Zhao Wen sat up straight and checked his phone. He looked at Tanyuan and me with great self-satisfaction, finally settling his gaze on me with a provocative eyebrow raise. My heart remained calm. I didn't hold much hope that the little rabbit would message me back, but a second later, my phone actually rang. I clicked it open. The beef and potatoes were delicious. I misjudged you earlier. It would have been even better if you hadn't charged money. It's probably from either Yoon Ya-tong or Tian Mengfan, Zhao Wen thought, his smug expression instantly souring. He hadn't expected me to actually receive a message. Tanyuan's face was also looking grim. Both Zhao Wen and I had received messages, leaving him as the only one without one. It was a huge blow to his pride. When a third notification rang out, he instinctively checked his phone, but there was still nothing. Realizing what was happening, both of them turned their gazes toward me. I opened my phone again. After the little rabbit message, there was a very cute rabbit head emoji. For some reason, seeing this message made me feel a sense of relief, and a smile unconsciously surfaced on my face. The pride in Zhao Wen's eyes vanished completely. He was the first to stand up and head back to the dorm. Tanyuan looked even more devastated, his whole body radiating gloom. I can't believe it! Not only did Zhang Yu receive a message, he got 2. The first one must be from that foodie Tian Mengfan. I knew she could be bought with food. Yun Ya-tong is quite devoted. She's always chosen Zhao Wen. She was the one who made the heartbeat call to him at the start. I can't figure out why Sumo would message Zhang Yu. Is it just to create a buzz? After Yoon Ya-tong sent her message, she sat by her bed staring at her phone for a while. Although she had received a message, she didn't feel much. She only sent that text to Zhao Wen to build up their couple hype for the cameras. Tian Mengfan's thoughts were simpler. Since there was no one she was truly heartbeat for, whoever cooked the best food was her friend. After sending her text, she went straight to sleep. After Sumo sent her text, she didn't rest. Instead, she changed clothes and went to the piano room on the first floor. There were less than 5 days left before the recording of the show Singing Wildly began. She had to finish writing her song quickly. Actually, the melody was mostly done, but she felt it was missing something. She had revised several versions, but none were quite right. Just as she spread out the sheet music, the phone in her arms rang. "You're not asleep yet at this hour? I've been watching your live stream until now. I saw you guys finish for the day, so I'm calling. Are you settling in okay?" "I am. Everyone is very nice and takes good care of me. I watched the stream for a bit and you seem to be in good spirits. Keep it up. Good luck." The caller thought about the interaction between Sumo and me on the stream. If the previous heartbeat call was a mistake, what did this heartbeat text mean? She was truly afraid the chairman's precious daughter was being led astray by me. "Moe, tell me the truth. Are you interested in that Zhang Yu guy?" "Zhang Yu is quite an interesting person," Sumo replied blankly, blinking her eyes. "I'm asking if you like him." Sumo's ears turned red instantly. "Oh, Sister Jiang, you're overthinking it." Sending him a text was just because I'm a bit more familiar with him. We've only spent 1 day together. How could I like him already? It better be that way. You remember what I told you before, right? Sumo nodded obediently. I remember. You told me to stay away from him. Make sure you remember. Though she said it, Jiang was half skeptical of Sumo's words. "How is your new song coming along? Recording for Singing Wildly starts in 5 days. You need to submit the song in advance. You have 4 days at most." "I'll get it to you within 4 days. Why aren't you willing to let Chairman Su help? He's usually so good to you." Sumo was silent for a moment before speaking. "My dad is busy. I don't want to bother him. Oh, don't worry. It's late. Go to sleep. Bye." After hanging up, Sumo sat on the piano stool in a daze. She knew her father loved her, but they had an agreement. If she could make a name for herself in the entertainment industry on her own within 6 months, he would stop restricting her so harshly. Thinking of this, she placed her hands on the piano and began to compose. Faint piano music drifted in from outside the window. I was a bit confused. Who was playing the piano so late? But I was too lazy to get up and check. The bed was much more comfortable. I opened my phone and was flooded with messages. They were all from my editor and readers. When I traveled to this world 2 years ago, I adapted the story, Legend of Sword and Fairy. Upon release, it caused a massive sensation. My pen name, Shangtian Xiao, became the newcomer king of the year on the Chinese web novel site. Being on the show these past 2 days, I had forgotten about my new book launch. I didn't expect that just posting a few hundred-word preview would result in over 10,000 bookmarks, 100,000 in tips, and thousands of comments. Even more ridiculous was that this book, which only had a title and a synopsis, was ranked #1 on the new book list. It was highly insulting to the other authors on the list. I quickly messaged my editor, Xu Yin. "I've been busy with other things these past 2 days." As soon as the message sent, Xu Yin called me. "You brat! No matter how busy you are, you can't joke with a new book launch. Who taught you to play like that? Just a title and a synopsis? You think you're so clever." In her excitement, she forgot I was a star author and shouted, "Don't you dare mess around with a new book launch without telling me. Do you have any idea how popular you are right now? Anything posted under the name Yang Tian Xiao draws a massive crowd. Have some self-awareness." I chuckled awkwardly. I knew I was famous in the web novel world because of Legend of Sword and Fairy, but I hadn't realized I was this famous. "I was going to notify you after I uploaded it that day, but something came up. I'm quite busy lately. As for the new book, I'm thinking..." Xu Yin seemed to know what I was going to say and interrupted me. "No matter how busy you are, this book needs to be released soon. The sooner the better. Capitalize on the hype of that preview." She proceeded to bombard me with arrangements. I felt helpless against such a dedicated editor. The next day, all the guests woke up early. They had to maintain their disciplined personas in front of the camera. By 8 a.m., Zhao Wen had already finished a 3,000-meter run. He changed into casual clothes before coming to the kitchen. When he saw Tan Yuan already cooking at the stove, he went over to help. "Need a hand? Could you dip these bread slices in the egg wash? I fried some earlier, but it doesn't look like enough." Qian Mengfan walked in yawning. "Morning, it smells so good. Tan Yuan, you're so hardworking." "I'm not the most hardworking one. Brother Zhao Wen got up earlier than me. He already finished a 3,000-meter run. I only ran 1,500 meters before starting breakfast. I've already made some. You can start eating. If there isn't enough, I'll make more." By saying this, he not only hinted at his morning exercise, but also highlighted that he made breakfast for everyone, while Zhao Wen was just a late helper. Qian Mengfan looked at Zhao Wen in the corner with surprise. "Oh, Brother Zhao is here too. I was just focused on the food. I didn't realize you could run 3,000 meters. Zhao Wen gave a gentlemanly smile and played it cool. It was nothing. Qian Mengfan, wanting to please everyone, continued. "Brother Tan is also great, running 1,500 meters and making breakfast. You're both good men." After that, she focused entirely on eating a piece of fried bread. Yun Yatong then came downstairs. There was no trace of sleepiness on her. Her hair was perfectly messy, and her skin was pale and beautiful. Qian Mengfan's eyes widened. "Sister Yatong, you're so dedicated. It's so early and you've already done your makeup." Yun Yatong's expression froze for a second before she smiled. "No, I'm not wearing any makeup." Qian Mengfan just gave an "oh" and went back to her bread. Shortly after, Sumo came down. "Someone already made breakfast?" "Yeah, Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan made it. I've already had a few pieces. Go grab some. Sumo tucked her hair behind her ear, smiled, and headed toward the kitchen. The cameraman, being savvy, zoomed in on Sumo's face. The comments went wild. OMG, is she an angel? This is what true barefaced beauty looks like. No flaws even with a high-def close-up. So beautiful. Is this the legendary, zero-flaw skin? I'm so jealous. A certain artist named Yoon was trying for this vibe, but unfortunately she lacked the looks and had to use makeup. Tan Yuan and Zhao Wen were also stunned. Sumo's bare face looked almost no different from when she was wearing makeup yesterday. Can I have a piece of bread? Sumo's gentle voice snapped them back to reality. Of course, it's for everyone. At that moment, the director announced, in last night's Heartbeat text segment, only Zhang Yu and Su Moe were successfully matched. Therefore, for today's activity, Zhang Yu and Su Moe will be in one group, and the other 4 will be in another. The other guests gasped in surprise. Only Sumo remained calm and looked around. Where is Zhang Yu? Meanwhile, I was fast asleep. I didn't have a biological clock. My clock was a random alarm. I wasn't like those celebrities who needed to build a persona. Sleeping was more important, but the knocking on the door wouldn't stop. What? Can a guy get some sleep? Zhang Yu. Sumo's face turned bright red the moment she saw me. I was so sleepy, I forgot we were filming a dating show. Seeing a red-faced Sumo woke me up instantly. I shut the door and quickly threw on a simple white t-shirt and shorts. When I opened the door again, Sumo was still there, her head lowered. So far, it was almost touching the floor. Her ears were so red, they looked like they were about to bleed. I'm dressed. Is something wrong? Sumo was still too red to look at me. The director just said that today, you and I are in a group. We have to earn our own money. The others are together. I leaned against the doorframe and looked down at her. She sounded a bit incoherent, and her big watery eyes were blinking rapidly. It was kind of amusing. Go wash up and come down for breakfast. We've already eaten, Sumo said with a cute pout. You're the only one who wasn't up. With that, she vanished like a gust of wind. Ha ha ha, Mo is so shy. Zhang Yu, what are you doing to her? This Zhang Yu is way too casual. Does he think he's at home? Yeah, he has no initiative. Sleeping in like that. And look at his cheap clothes. To the haters above, the man is authentic. And he can sleep in and still have abs. I love it. Not only is he handsome, but his physique is amazing. I'm a fan. I followed her downstairs to the kitchen and saw the others chatting over bread. Hearing my footsteps, Sumo's whole body stiffened. She lowered her head and mindlessly bit into her bread. Tan Yuan was the first to speak. You're finally up. We already ate. The bread I brought was limited, and since you're late, it's all gone. You'll have to find your own breakfast. He deserves it for getting up so late. Serves him right. Look at how hard Tan Yuan and Zhao Wen work. The early bird gets the worm. Now that the ingredients are gone, let's see what Zhang Yu does. Sumo looked at me. She had wanted to save 2 slices for me, but by the time she called me down, they were gone. All she had was the piece she was currently eating. She considered giving me her partially eaten bread, but worried I'd find it gross. But I had already opened the fridge and pulled out some noodles and eggs. In no time, I had whipped up a bowl of mixed noodles, and a delicious aroma filled the kitchen. Qian Mingfan's nose twitched, and she immediately dropped her bread and ran to the kitchen. It smells so good! What are you making? I took the noodles out of the boiling water and mixed in the savory sauce I'd prepared. The one with the egg is clear soup noodles. This one in my hand is mixed noodles. Can I try some? Qian Mingfan asked eagerly, clasping her hands. Sure, which one? Can I try both? Once I agreed, she couldn't wait to try the soup noodles. The flavor was light but very fresh, not at all bland like it looked. The hot soup warmed her stomach. Delicious. I didn't know soup noodles could be this good. Amazing. Then she tried the mixed noodles and her eyes lit up. This is also delicious. Drinking the soup while eating these noodles is the perfect combo. She went to take another bite, but stopped halfway. She remembered her manager's warning about maintaining her cool goddess image. Ahem. She coughed lightly, put down the chopsticks and smoothed her bangs, instantly becoming cool again. Do you charge for this meal? No, but there isn't much left. Hearing this, her cool persona shattered instantly. She shouted joyfully, Girls, the noodles Zhang Yu made are incredible. Come eat. It's free. Hearing her, Yunyatong also stood up and headed for the kitchen. After all, dry bread is nothing compared to hot noodles. Yunyatong tried the soup and fell in love instantly, finishing the whole bowl. She let out a small burp and shyly covered her mouth, glancing at me with an embarrassed smile. "Ah, your breakfast is just too good, I couldn't help myself." Sumo also ran over. "Can I try too?" She had already eaten bread and was trying to watch her figure, but the smell was irresistible. I smiled. Of course. Sumo instinctively picked up the chopstick sitting in the noodles and took a bite. Her expression was like she discovered a new world. "What is this sauce? It's so good! I've never had anything like it." I looked at the chopsticks in her hand. Those were the ones I had just been using. "Ugh, those chopsticks. I already used them." "Ah!" Sumo quickly and frantically put them down, hiding her hands behind her back and fidgeting. Her eyes darted around. I didn't know. I thought you hadn't used them. But I don't mind. Do you mind? If you do, I'll get you a new pair." Though she sounded calm, internally she was screaming, wishing she could disappear. I looked at the flustered girl and said softly, "No need to change them. Go ahead and sit down to eat." Sumo's worried expression turned into a beaming smile. She followed me back to the table, practically skipping. "I won't say who's shipping the universal Mo couple, but I'm the first in line. I want to share a pair of chopsticks with Mo, too. Zhang Yu, you lucky dog. Ha ha ha, I really want to try his cooking. It looks so tempting." Tan Yuan and Zhao Wen looked miserable. They had seen the whole interaction. Being able to share chopsticks with Sumoe was enough to make anyone jealous. Tan Yuan glared at me. The female guests who were just eating his bread had now abandoned it for my noodles. How was he supposed to win them over now? I looked at them and smiled. The noodles were limited. Not enough for you guys. Tan Yuan forced a smile as he picked up his bread. "It's fine. Bread is enough for me." Zhao Wen followed suit. "Me too." Qian Mengfan, seeing the tension, tried to change the subject. "Do you guys know the author, Xiangtian Xiao, the one who wrote Legend of Sword and Fairy?" I didn't expect celebrities to read web novels, and specifically my novel. Tan Yuan immediately chimed in. "I know him. I love that book. I check for updates every day. I wish they'd turn it into a TV show. I really like the character Li Xiaoyao." Yunyatong laughed. "Are you saying you want to play Li Xiaoyao?" Tan Yuan smiled. "Of course I do, but it's probably unlikely." He then looked at the camera seriously. "To all the screenwriters and directors out there, if you ever turn Legend of Sword and Fairy into a show, please consider me." I silently ate my noodles. Keep dreaming. No matter how much you call out to directors, it won't matter. I'm the author, and I'd be the first to say no. Qian Mengfan laughed. "You should ask Xiangtian Xiao. For an author of his level, he usually has the final say in casting for adaptations. I want to play Anu, ha ha ha." Tan Yuan sighed. "Xiangtian Xiao is so mysterious, no one knows his true identity. No info has ever leaked. I wonder if he even watches our show." I chuckled inwardly. Xiangtian Xiao wasn't just watching the show. He was participating in it as a guest. Sumo said, "I've read Legend of Sword and Fairy too. I really like Zhao Linger, but her life was just too bitter." In the end, the conclusion didn't do justice to her life of wandering and selfless love. A trace of sadness appeared on her face as she spoke. I looked up at Sumo across from me, opened my mouth to speak, but in the end, nothing came out. Chuan Mengfan's excited voice grew louder again. "I didn't expect everyone to have read it. Ha ha ha, did you guys know? Xiangtian Xiao is releasing a new book tonight at 6 p.m. This new book is legendary. It hit #1 on the new book chart based on just the title and synopsis alone. Isn't that wild?" Tan Yuan hurriedly asked, "What book? He hasn't released anything in half a year, so I haven't been paying much attention." Qian Mengfan acted mysteriously. After finishing breakfast, following the program's schedule, I went out with Sumo to find part-time work to earn money. Based on my understanding of variety shows, the production team must have already prearranged suitable jobs. Naturally, a job would come looking for us in a while, so I wasn't in a hurry. Sumo seemed very excited about the prospect of doing part-time work. She walked ahead, seriously scanning the signs and advertisements of the shops along the street. However, after being rejected by several shops in a row, her high spirits began to turn into frustration. "Zhang Yu, what should we do? We can't find a job. Finding work is so hard." I sat down on a stone bench under a large tree. Finding a job these days really isn't simple. Let's sit for a while before looking again. It's a hot day. Sumoe looked at me with a face full of worry and grievance. What if we can't find a job? We won't have money for food. What's there to worry about? What is meant to be will be. What isn't meant to be shouldn't be forced. Aren't you tired after running to so many shops? Look, your cheeks are all flushed from the sun. Aren't you afraid of getting a tan? Aren't you celebrities supposed to care most about your appearance? This string of questions left Sumo stunned. She looked down at her arm. Sure enough, her skin, which was originally white as snow, was now as red as a steamed crab. Ultimately, she chose to sit with me and enjoy the shade. That's the spirit. Sitting in the shade is much more comfortable than baking in the sun. If only we had 2 bowls of ice jelly and a few slices of chilled watermelon. Sumoe was tempted. I want chilled watermelon too, but what is this ice jelly you mentioned? I've never had it. Is it good? Of course it's good. It's a pity you've never tried it. Once we earn some money, I'll take you to get some. Looking at Sumoe and me sitting under the tree enjoying the shade, the director was completely bewildered. They had indeed arranged a job in advance. As long as the two continued searching a bit longer, the person they arranged would have appeared to recruit them. But why did these two stop searching? Why did they just sit down to rest? The producer was also helpless. Zhang Yu said the weather is too hot and he doesn't want to move, so he pulled Sumo to enjoy the shade under the tree. The weather is too hot? He doesn't want to move? Then how can the other 4 guests search for jobs properly? It's Zhang Yu again, that attention seeker. What do we do now? The person we arranged is standing not far from them, but they're sitting down and won't go over. The show can't go on. The director had a look of melancholy, as if I had wounded his very soul. Have the person we arranged go to them. Soon, a long-haired woman dressed simply, carrying a recruitment sign, walked toward us. The sharp-eyed Sumo immediately got excited. Look, that person seems to be hiring. Let's go check it out. I really didn't want to move, but seeing the sparkling look in Sumo's eyes, my heart softened. Sumo skipped toward the woman. Hello, are you hiring? The woman nodded with a smile. My name is Xiaotian. I'm looking for 2 people to help me clean a house, but I only have a budget of 300 yuan. Sumo was overjoyed to finally have a job and was about to agree. But then she saw me pull her aside and answer first. Only 300? That's too low. After saying that, I started to lead Sumo away. Wasn't she an NPC sent by the director? How could she be rejected? What should she do next? The director hadn't taught her this. Everyone in the director's booth was stunned. This Zhang Yu is a real troublemaker. What now? The director let out a long sigh. What else can we do? Add 100 to it. Xiaotian quickly followed the instructions. How about 400? I can't go any higher. I smiled and raised an eyebrow. Ha, Zhang Yu is amazing. He's actually haggling at a time like this. You can tell Xiaotian was sent by the crew at a glance. Look at her bewildered expression when Zhang Yu rejected her. It's killing me. The production team is being completely played by Zhang Yu. Sumo smiled exceptionally brightly, looking at me with her eyes curved into crescent moons. You keep looking at me. Do you have something to ask? Sumo smiled at me. Zhang Yu, you're really something. It feels like you know so much. You can cook, and you know so many life lessons. What is meant to be will be. What isn't meant to be shouldn't be forced. I've memorized that phrase. As she spoke, her gaze became even brighter. Can you teach me? Be my teacher. I learn things very quickly. I'll definitely be a good student. I don't have anything to teach you, and I certainly can't be your teacher. How is that possible? My judgment of people is very accurate. You would definitely be a great teacher. Does this silly rabbit have some misunderstanding about herself? With those innocent eyes, how could her judgment of people be accurate? I don't care. From now on, you are my teacher Zhang. I've lived with my dad since I was little. He's busy all day and has no time for me. I don't have many friends, so I don't actually have much common sense for daily life. We're going to clean that lady's house soon, and I don't know if I'll do a good job. I hope you won't look down on me. As long as you teach me, I'll learn very fast. Though Sumo kept smiling while saying this, I could see a hint of loneliness in her eyes. I let out a long sigh in my heart. Since you've called me teacher, then I must teach you something, otherwise I'd be failing the title. Sumo immediately perked up. Her ears metaphorically pricked as she listened intently. I coughed twice. If you're cooking and accidentally add too much salt, what should you do? Sumoe rolled her large, round eyes. I don't know. What should I do? She looked at me like a puppy waiting for a treat, anticipating the correct answer. It's actually simple. You just need to set the dish aside for a while. After all, time heals all wounds. Or in this case, time dilutes everything. Note, a pun on the Chinese phrase for dilute/fade. Sumo blinked blankly. After several seconds, she realized, what kind of answer is that? She thought I was going to teach her actual cooking experience. Teacher Zhang, were you just messing with me? Not at all. Although the answer and the question are a bit unrelated, my goal was to use this question to tell you a great life philosophy. Think about it carefully. Sumo tilted her head and began to think seriously. Suddenly, her eyes lit up. Are you trying to tell me that time fades everything? Actually, I didn't know what life lesson was in that question either, but since Sumo said it, let's go with that. Exactly. That's the lesson I wanted to teach you. In life, you have to look forward and don't look back. There's no need to take those upsetting things to heart, because as time passes, everything will fade. Sumo's cherry pink lips parted slightly as she looked at me with admiration. Teacher Zhang, you're truly incredible. Wait a minute. I admit Zhang Yu's later words made sense, but why do I feel like he's just fooling our Mo? Ha ha ha, Sumo is being led in circles. I feel like Zhang Yu is actually coaxing Mo. Or is my shipping of this couple causing me to hallucinate? To the person above, I support your theory. Squee, it's too sweet. I continued to teach Sumo some life common sense with a straight face. Sometimes when we make coffee or instant noodles, it's a hassle to boil water every single time, right? Sumo nodded obediently. If you use a kettle every time, it is a bit troublesome. And if you use a water dispenser, you can only get 1 cup at a time, and it's not even a full boil. There's a way to solve this trouble. Just boil a lot of water at once, then store the hot water in the fridge. When you need it, just take it out and heat it up. Sumo's face lit up with joy. Yes, that's a great method. Why didn't I think? Mid-sentence, her smile vanished and her brow furrowed. She balled her hand into a fist and gave me a light, angry punch. She pouted and stopped talking to me. I didn't expect the silly rabbit to catch on. It seems she isn't as dumb as I imagined. I'm done joking. I'm gonna tell you some real dry goods, useful info now. Do you still want to hear it? Sumo, who was angry just a second ago, instantly put it behind her and turned to me. I want to hear it. Many people have trouble remembering points when studying for exams. Like you singers, you might find it hard to remember lyrics. It goes in one ear and out the other. It's very frustrating, right? Sumo nodded frantically like a chick pecking at grain. Does Teacher Zhang have a secret? Sometimes I can't remember the sheet music and it takes a long time to memorize. It's actually very easy to solve. I looked at the camera. The netizens watching the stream can learn this too. It's very practical. I then took an earplug out of my pocket and stuffed it into my right ear. Just use an earplug to block your right ear like this. After the knowledge goes in through the left ear, it can't come out through the right. That way the knowledge stays in our brains. A black line appeared on Sumo's forehead. What? What kind of nonsense is this? It was completely different from the life common sense she imagined. Zhang Yu, what exactly is inside your head? And you want us to learn this? Do we look that stupid to you? Zhang Yu, your jokes are so dry, but I love listening to them. Ha 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 ha. Soon we arrived at the target house. Sumo appeared exceptionally excited, checking the rooms one by one. Suddenly she leaned against the window and shouted, Teacher Zhang, look, is that the Cross River Bridge? It looks like there's a train running on it. I could see it from where I was too. It was indeed very beautiful. I had to admire Sumo's vitality. She was born into a wealthy family and had lived a life of luxury since childhood. Yet she not only had no complaints about looking for work, but also wasn't unhappy about cleaning a house for someone else. Teacher Zhang, don't you think it feels like we're cleaning our new home? I was shocked. What was this girl thinking? How could she suddenly say something like that? Stop daydreaming and get to work. The sooner we finish, the sooner we get paid. Then I'll take you to the bridge to see the river view. Okay. Sumo's attention was diverted, and she ran to get the cleaning tools eagerly. Sumoe and I had a clear division of labor, so the cleaning efficiency was quite high. However, to the director's disappointment, despite such a great opportunity, the two focused entirely on the cleaning. There was not a single interaction that felt like a couple. Sumo let out a long breath and flopped tiredly onto the bed. She closed her eyes and said weakly, "Finally finished." I was also a bit tired and lay down directly in the empty space next to Sumo, leaving a wide gap between us. Both of us were exhausted. We closed our eyes and soon fell asleep. However, after only a few minutes, Sumo's whole body jolted, and she woke up. She opened her eyes blankly as a sense of fear surged through her body. Only after seeing me lying nearby did the fear gradually vanish. Sumo's habit was that she had to hold a doll to sleep soundly. She turned her gaze toward me. We've already touched fingers, which is so private. Holding his arm should be okay, right? Then she reached out, hugged my arm, and slept beside me. Seeing the two of us lying on the same bed, with Sumo proactively hugging my arm as if snuggling into me to sleep, the director's spirits were instantly lifted and his eyes lit up. Finally, there was an atmosphere of a dating show with pink bubbles. The producer's eyes also went wide. Sumo is actually this bold? Isn't this scale a bit too large? Is this even allowed to be filmed? Hwang Yuyun wished she could pull Sumoe out of the screen and give her another harsh lesson. Is this something I'm allowed to watch? See no evil. Moe, what's wrong with you? Are you sleepwalking? Wake up! He's that useless Jang Yu. You can't like him. To see Mo's bed scene in this lifetime, it's worth it. I woke up in a daze and was completely stunned. Does Sumo have no idol baggage at all? Doesn't she care about her image in the fans' hearts? Or does this silly rabbit simply not know the severity of doing this? Sumo sat up blankly and rubbed her eyes. What is it? Are we going to the bridge now? Looking at Sumo's dazed eyes, I didn't have the heart to strike her down. It would be bad if she became even sillier. How can you be so pretty? You look so good even when you're asleep. Really? Sumo asked joyfully. She grabbed the bedspread, bundled it into a ball, and shyly buried her face in it. Then she timidly poked a small gap and looked at me secretly through it. I looked at the goofy Sumo in front of me and chuckled to myself. Soon we received the 400 yuan payment from Zhao Tian. Sumo happily followed me to the Cross River Bridge. Each of us held a bowl of ice jelly, eating as we walked. At that moment, a group of people rushed past us. Quick, go look, I heard something happened on the bridge. Sumo and I both looked toward the bridge at the same time. Someone's jumping into the river. It's a teenage boy. Why would someone so young give up like that? It can't be such a coincidence, right? Encountering a jumper, is this arranged by the show? To the person above, are you okay? What show would arrange for someone to jump off a bridge? How can you even think that? I'm right near the bridge. I'm gonna go check the situation. Everyone wait for my update. A group of firefighters is trying to rescue the boy. Standing relatively close, Sumo and I finally saw the specific situation. It was a delicate-looking boy who didn't seem very old. He had climbed over the bridge railing. One foot was on the edge of the bridge, and the other was dangling in the air. He was relying entirely on the strength of his arms, grasping the railing to maintain his balance. Don't come over. If you come near me, I'll jump immediately. Stop your hypocritical persuasion. There is no one in this world who cares about me. Everyone excludes me and insults me, just because I look like a girl. But I clearly haven't done anything. I just wanted to go to school properly. Why did they... I analyzed the boy's excited words. It seemed the boy was too feminine looking and had suffered from exclusion and school bullying. This reminded me of some experiences from the original host's youth. I couldn't help but shout toward the nearly collapsing boy, "There are people who like you! There is still kindness in this world." Upon hearing my words, the boy was stunned for a second and turned his head toward my direction. Seeing it was working, I continued to shout, "You are not wrong! The ones who bullied you are the ones who are wrong. They don't like you, but there are others who do." Sumoe, with red-rimmed eyes and fighting back tears, shouted, "I like you very much! You're so good-looking! Who wouldn't like you?" The boy's emotions finally calmed a bit, but he still resisted anyone getting close to him. The production team of Heartbeat Melody was exceptionally quiet now. They didn't expect Sumo and me to encounter something like this. Although it would increase the popularity of the stream, they still didn't want us involved. If this was handled well, it might leave a good reputation, but if handled poorly, we could be cursed out of the industry. Notify Zhang Yu and Sumoe to leave. Don't let them get involved in trying to save him. Quickly tell them to leave. Director, It's too late. Upon hearing this, the director's face turned pale. It's over. It's all over. What were they thinking? Can they actually save him? If they fail, they'll be the ones blamed to death. Soon, the police brought the boy's father to him. The boy dazed for a moment when he saw his father. Dad? The boy's father is here. Now he should be saved. It seems he still has feelings for his father. Just as everyone thought there was hope, the boy suddenly screamed in collapse, "Don't come over! Stay away!" Seeing the situation was wrong, the police immediately stopped the man. The child is a bit emotional right now. Whatever you have to say it from here. He's emotional? I'm emotional too! The boy's father was also exasperated. I was working my night shift and they suddenly say, "You're going to jump." Do you know how much money I lose for taking leave? Your mother died early. Didn't I raise you myself? And you want to jump? Even I haven't talked about jumping. The boy fell silent. He seemed to have not received the outcome he wanted. The light in his eyes gradually vanished, and his tears flowed even harder. I told you why I didn't want to go to school. Why won't you listen? I have a reason. But his father seemed completely unappreciative. You have an excuse for not going to school? I'm so busy, where would I get the time to manage you? Who's going to feel sorry for me? Are you coming over or not? The police held back the father. It's not easy for anyone. However, the boy's last line of defense had completely crumbled. Heartbroken, he closed his eyes and took a deep breath, slowly letting go of his hands and leaning his body backward. At the distance between the police and him, it was impossible to reach him in time. It was that familiar voice again. The boy couldn't help but open his eyes to look at me. The people who care about you and are concerned for you don't only have to be relatives or friends. Strangers can too. If you're willing, we can become very good friends. I will care for you. Sumo immediately followed by shouting, "That's right, let's be friends. We'll become your best friends and family." By now, a few tears were already streaming down her face. Like the boy, she had been without a mother since she was young. The boy looked at us and gave a choked, tearful smile. After his father said those words, he had already lost the will to live. In those few seconds when he closed his eyes just now, he had quickly recalled these 14 years. The school bullying, the beatings and insults, the denial of his appearance, his father's cold words. There seemed to be no reason left to keep living. Seeing the boy still had no will to live, Sumo was anxious and felt a hint of despair. What do we do? It's still not working. What should we do? I was also feeling urgent. At the moment the boy intended to let go again, I shouted once more. Don't you believe it? Just now I wrote a song for you. Do you want to hear it? Didn't you say you don't believe I care about you? So I specifically wrote a song for you. Just for you. Just for me? It was precisely because of these words that the boy hesitated again. Just for you. Maybe you can try listening to it before deciding whether or not to leave. By now, the number of people in the live stream had reached a peak, over 20 million viewers. The popularity was several times higher than that of the other 4 guests combined. What is Zhang Yu doing? Can he even sing? I don't know. He said he wrote it for the boy and just finished it. I hope it's not so bad that it scares the boy into jumping immediately. Don't be so ridiculous above. Maybe Zhang Yu is doing this to stall for time so the police can get closer. Why does everyone care if the song is good or not? Exactly. Even if he sings badly? So what? Zhang Yu is already trying his hardest to save someone. At the same time, the director felt a massive headache, patting his chest to keep himself from fainting. If the boy still jumped in the end, tomorrow's headline would definitely be Heartbeat Melody Guests Terrible Singing Leads to Boy's Suicide. The boy finally wavered. Was it really written for me? You sing it, I want to listen. Seeing the boy finally relented, I didn't delay and said quickly, this song is called Rose Boy. Who put whose soul into whose body? Who turned whose body into a territory to imprison themselves? Illusions are always the most disdainful. Beauty in the dark will lead to envy. You are not guilty. The guilty one is this world. The boy, who was just screaming and crying, suddenly became silent and looked at me with slight surprise. Tears still flowed uncontrollably, but my singing voice reached the boy's ears line by line. Every lyric hit the boy's heart directly, giving him an unprecedented feeling. It seemed no one had ever said to him, "You are not guilty. The guilty one is this world." The words he heard most from those around him were, "Why do they only bully you and not others?" After hearing such things so often, he developed a mentality that it was all his fault. Getting hit was blamed on his annoying face. Getting robbed was blamed on his weakness. He had fallen into endless self-doubt, but the man in front of him sang the complete opposite. This time, it seemed he was truly being valued. Oh, which rose has no thorns? The best revenge is being beautiful. The most beautiful blooming is a counterattack. Don't let anyone change you, yeah. You are you, or you are fine. It will make people love you sincerely. As I reached the latter half of the song, the boy's desire to leave the world wavered more and more. Just like the lyrics sang, even if he chose to die, what would it change? What could it change? Those who mocked and bullied him would still live freely, and would likely forget him before long. Roseboy is in my heart, blooming a vivid legend. We have never forgotten. Your complaint has no sound. Go speak more truths. Go awaken countless sincere hearts. That rose has no thorns. As the song ended, the boy completely let down his guard. The police took the opportunity to rush forward and grab the boy. The boy didn't struggle, but instead cooperated fully. He cried hard, but shouted loudly, "I want to live! I want to live!" After the boy shouted those words, the scene was instantly filled with thunderous applause and cheers. Wow, he's finally been saved. That kept me on the edge of my seat. The guy who was just singing, I feel like I've seen him on TV before. Regarding this show Heartbeat Melody, I often watch their live streams. I didn't really like Zhang Yu before, but now I've suddenly fallen in love with him. It wasn't just the people on the scene who were this excited. The viewers in the live stream were equally thrilled. He's saved, he's saved. I feel like I've personally saved 7 people. I feel so proud. Zhang Yu, I'm a fan now. I didn't expect him to be able to sing, and to sing so beautifully too, and he wrote this song himself. Wrote it right there on the spot. Simply incredible. The moment the boy was rescued, Sumo excitedly gave me a tight hug. Her face had been covered in tears since I started singing. She never expected me to perform such an outstanding song. He saved! He saved! I was a bit caught off guard by Sumo's sudden hug. This silly rabbit was crying way too hard. Meanwhile, the rescued boy was looking over at me expectantly, seemingly wanting to say something but hesitating to come over. I placed my hands on Sumo's shoulders and gently moved her back, trying to keep my voice as soft as possible. It's okay now. Wait for me here a moment. I'm gonna say a few words to that boy, and then I'll take you to get something delicious, okay? Sumoe gave a soft with a nasal tone. I saw the boy's father raise his palm, about to slap the boy's face. I'll teach you to jump. I rushed up and grabbed his hand. Sir, I know life hasn't been easy for you, but school isn't as relaxing as you imagine either. He has his own difficulties. The father was clearly defiant, his expression sour as he prepared to snap back. Guessing what he intended to do, I glanced at the cameraman nearby. Millions of people are watching your behavior right now. If you don't want to be cursed at by everyone on the street, you'd better watch yourself. Seeing the camera, the father angrily shook off my hand. I walked up to the boy and asked with a smile, "Is there something you wanted to say to me?" The boy glanced at Sumo, not far away, and asked curiously, "Brother, is she your girlfriend?" I was a bit speechless. "No. Is that all you wanted to say?" The boy blinked his eyes, which were so swollen he could barely open them. "I saw you hugging, and thought you had already found the person who loves you. What I actually wanted to say was, thank you, brother. Thank you for that song." I crouched down and placed my hands on the boy's shoulders. Even if you can't find someone to love you, it's actually okay. As long as you love yourself, that's enough. I glanced at the impatient father in the distance, then turned back to the boy and said solemnly, "If anyone makes you feel uncomfortable, or attacks and belittles you, you can choose to distance yourself, even if they are family." "Understand?" The boy nodded firmly. "I understand. I will." Just as we finished talking, the phone in the boy's pocket rang. Looking at it, his face immediately lit up with joy. My teacher just sent a message saying the people who bullied me have been expelled from school. The teacher also told me not to be afraid anymore. The school and teachers will stand behind me. If I don't want to live at home, they'll arrange for me to be a boarding student. And so many classmates have sent me messages of concern. The boy's voice trembled with excitement, his tone a mix of happiness and a hint of incredible thrill. "That's good. Study hard from now on, and show those who bullied you that you're living a better life than all of them." After saying that, I prepared to go find Sumo, but the boy pulled on my hem. "Brother, can I still contact you in the future?" I took out my phone and handed it over. "Of course. Add my contact info. You can reach out whenever you want. By the way, my name is Zhang Yu." The boy smiled, revealing 2 rows of white teeth. "My name is Wang Zishi." I nodded. "A very nice name. I'll remember it. You must live on strongly. I'm heading over now. Someone is waiting for me." The boy stood there and didn't leave immediately, silently waving as he watched my back. The cameraman also fully captured my conversation with the boy. Wow, what kind of angel on earth is Zhang Yu? That's exactly how it should be. Live well for those who bullied you so they can see you're happier than anyone. Wang Zishi can finally study in peace. Those who bullied him got punished. I'm so happy for him. Suddenly I feel like Zhang Yu is more and more charming. I want to hear the recorded version of Rose Boy. When can Zhang Yu record the song? Wang Yi, who was clutching his heart and feeling unwell just moments ago, was now perfectly fine and grinning ear to ear. "I knew this kid wasn't simple, ha ha ha!" Director Meng Chi from Manhwa Entertainment called and said she wants to sign Zhang Yu. A staff member handed the phone to Director Wang. Director Wang's expression darkened again upon hearing this. "Just say I'm not in." He didn't expect someone to target Zhang Yu so soon. That woman Meng Chi was not easy to deal with. He wanted to sign Zhang Yu himself. How could he let that woman get a bargain? Sumo saw me coming and immediately called out to stop me. "Don't come over. My face is a mess from crying. It's ugly. Don't come over and talk to me yet." The river breeze blew Sumo's dark hair, making her back look a bit desolate. Her shoulders trembled slightly. Even from behind, you could tell she was crying while wiping her eyes with her hands. I let out a long sigh, and my heart softened instantly. The person had already been saved. Why was this silly rabbit still crying so hard? "What did you say? The river breeze is too loud. I couldn't hear you." I spoke while walking over, wanting to comfort her. Worried I would really run over, Sumo quickly stood up and ran forward a few steps. "I said, don't come over!" "What? If you want me to come over, why are you running away?" Sumo realized she had been tricked again. It wasn't that the wind was too loud. Zhang Yu did it on purpose. She turned around, wanting to give me a punch. I stepped closer and asked, "Did you think of something? Why are you so sad? Do you want to tell me about it?" Sumo wiped the tear tracks on her face. "It's nothing. I just thought that boy was saved just now." But in different places and at different times, similar things might be happening. Perhaps their experiences are even worse. What should those children who don't get rescued do? They are still living in hell. For a moment, I didn't know how to answer. I reached out and gently ruffled her hair. Sumo's tense body slowly relaxed, allowing me to mess up her hair. Her large eyes looked at me watery, like a puppy enjoying its owner's touch. A single person's ability is limited. This isn't something one person can completely change. What we can do is our absolute best to change things and spread awareness. Worrying like this won't change anything, it'll only hurt your body. All right, I'll take you to eat something good in a bit. Sumoe gave a nasal and stood still, making no move to go, still letting me touch her hair. Watching the footage of the interaction between Sumoe and me, Director Wang's smile nearly reached his ears. This is the first time Zhang Yu has been proactive, right? Too sweet, it's really too sweet. The other producers also had their heads filled with pink hearts. Even their pupils seemed heart-shaped. Ah, my Universal Mo CP is the best. That head pat is killing me. The height difference is just perfect. Just kill me to celebrate for them. Wah! It's too sweet. It's sweet, but it feels like a script. In reality, Mo probably wouldn't look twice at Zhang Yu, right? True. This kind of unrealistic plot only happens on dating shows. Sumo's mood improved a bit. She looked at the sunset clouds in the distance and sighed. So beautiful. Then she turned to look at me. The young man had his eyes closed, feeling the river breeze. With his sharp facial features and high bridge of his nose, he seemed very different from his usual self, but it was a different kind of handsome. Sumo took out her phone and quietly took a profile shot of me, then tucked the phone away with satisfaction. "Teacher Zhang, I didn't expect you to be able to write songs, and so well too. It's really a pity you didn't enter the entertainment industry." Sumo was silent for a moment, then spoke again. "Teacher Zhang, can you teach me how to write songs?" My heart, however, remained completely unmoved. I just wanted to spend this month peacefully. If it hadn't been for a living soul, I wouldn't have sung that song. Besides, teaching a white rabbit to write songs sounded like way too much trouble. The expectant expression on Sumo's face instantly slumped. I don't know how. I didn't want to explain much. After all, my songs were all borrowed. How is that possible? The song you just sang was clearly written so well. Sumo pouted. I really don't. That one was just a stroke of luck. If I teach you, I might make you worse. What if I lead you astray? Sumoe obviously didn't believe it. Zhang Yu's answer clearly meant he was unwilling to teach her. Thus, she walked ahead moodily. All the way until they crossed the bridge, Sumo didn't take the initiative to say a single word to me. However, every 2 steps she took, she would stop and glance back, as if afraid she'd lose me. Wait, what's up with the atmosphere between these two? They were so sweet a moment ago. Why is it suddenly like this? How could Zhang Yu have the heart to refuse our moe? Why refuse? Is that even a question? Didn't Zhang Yu answer it himself? Because he doesn't know how. Rose Boy definitely wasn't written by Zhang Yu himself, which is why he refused Sumo so decisively. If he agreed, wouldn't he expose the fact that he didn't write it? Even if he didn't write it, his singing was still amazing? Is there a need to hate? Sumo walked ahead crossly for a few steps, then stopped to look back. Why wasn't Zhang Yu taking the initiative to talk to her? She had already made her hints so obvious and given him a way out. She wasn't even angry that he wouldn't teach her anymore. I'd better be the one to talk to him first. She turned around and shyly stepped toward me. Her red lips parted to say just one word. My voice beat her to it. Look over there, someone is making sugar dolls. Sumo was stunned for a moment and blinked several times. Sure enough, an old man was sitting in front of a small cart making sugar dolls. Her previous unhappiness vanished instantly. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at the little sugar dolls on the cart. Really? I wonder if the grandpa knows how to make Little White Rabbit sugar dolls. Understanding the hint, I turned and walked toward the old man. Sumo followed behind me with a beaming smile, skipping joyfully. She even felt that we looked like a young couple on a date. The girlfriend asks for something, and the boyfriend buys it without a second thought. Boss, can you make a Little White Rabbit sugar doll? The owner said very confidently and proudly. Of course, I can make a rabbit in any pose. Singmo smiled even brighter, her hands behind her back as she swayed happily. She even hummed a little tune in her nose. She already planned to get 2 little rabbit sugar dolls, one crouching and one lying down. Hee hee. I nodded at the owner's words and then said to Sumoe, he says he can make them, and in any pose. All right, let's go. Sumo's face turned into a giant question mark, and her previously excited expression gradually froze. She went from smiling eyes to a dim gaze, then her eyes turned red, and finally they welled up, as if she were about to cry the next second. I hurried to apologize. I was joking, just teasing you. Make one of every rabbit pose you know. Tell me how much it costs in total. Then, as the owner finished each one, I handed it to Sumoe. Looking at the rabbits in her hands, one after another, the corners of Sumo's mouth instinctively curled up. I caught a glimpse of her smile out of the corner of my eye and unconsciously smirked as well. By now, both of us were hungry. I brought Sumoe to a food stall area. Sumo looked around, her hands rubbing her clothes on her thighs. It was very noisy. Everyone was talking. Some men were excited from drinking, even shouting loudly, and the sound of beer mugs clanking on tables mixed with rough, loud voices. Sumo shivered and instinctively moved closer to me. In all her years, she had never been to such a place to eat. Although she didn't discriminate against people eating here or look down on this messy dining style, she was still a bit unaccustomed to it. I caught Sumo's subtle movements. Is there any dish you want to order? This stall's food is pretty good. I ate here half a year ago. Sumo glanced at the menu. She had barely tried any of the items on it, so how would she know what was good? No, I'll eat anything. I'll like whatever you order. I looked into Sumo's smiling eyes. They were like a night sky full of stars, dazzling and beautiful. Zhang Yu is taking Sumo to a food stall? That's way too low. Look at Sumo. She looks completely dazed. Zhang Yu really has no romance. How can he catch a girl like this? The goodwill he built up with Mo is almost gone. What's wrong with eating at a food stall? Isn't it great? It's authentic and not pretentious. I love food stall barbecue. Exactly. Is everyone in the comments earning $1 million a month? How can you look down on food stalls? I'm switching between streams and noticed Zhao Wen's group of 4 also seems to be heading toward this street. Soon, the dishes I ordered were served one after another. Grilled skewers, grilled eggplant, grilled chicken wings, grilled tofu. They were all placed in front of Sumo. She stared at the barbecue and then looked up at me, like a child asking a parent with their eyes if they could eat snacks. Go ahead and eat. I'll order a few more things. Having received permission, Sumo happily tried to pick up the grilled eggplant. But with her chopstick technique, it was difficult to grab. Seeing this, I quickly stopped her. What are you doing? Put the eggplant down first. Sumo was a bit confused. I can't eat this? Her tone carried a hint of grievance. It's not that you can't eat it, it's just not how you eat it. Have you never had this before? I asked gently and patiently. Sumo nodded obediently. Never. I haven't tried many of the dishes you ordered. This poor child has never even had this. You have to eat it like this. I used the chopsticks to move the eggplant meat without breaking the skin, then picked up a piece of the meat and put it in my mouth. It was as if Sumo had opened a door to a new world. She couldn't wait to pick up her chopsticks again and try it my way. It's so good. So amazing. Seeing Sumo's little greedy cat look, I silently added 2 more orders of eggplant. I love grilled eggplant too. I thought Sumo wouldn't be used to it, but I didn't expect her to like it so much. She feels so real, not like she's faking it. To those who looked down on food stalls earlier, see? Sumo isn't even as fussy as you. Just as the two were enjoying their meal, a familiar voice suddenly came from nearby. What a coincidence. I didn't expect to see you here. Zhao Wen, Tan Yuan, and the other 2 were standing in front of us. Sumoe, who was eating happily, was surprised. Ah, why are you guys here too? Zhao Wen beat everyone to the punch with a smile. What a coincidence indeed. We heard the corner ahead is a very famous snack street, and figured since we had nothing to do after dinner, we'd come take a stroll. After saying that, he sized me up and then scanned the surrounding dining environment as if unintentionally. Why are you eating here? You followed him all day and he brought you to a place like this? He glanced at me sideways, his tone carrying a hint of disdain and contempt. The 4 of them didn't know about me saving the child on the bridge. In their eyes, I was just a migrant worker who knew nothing but cooking. Sumoe retorted before I could. It's great here. I've eaten a lot of food I never had before. Teacher Zhang is really good at picking places. Do you want to try? Especially this grilled eggplant. It's super delicious. Have you had it before? She pointed at the eggplant on the table like a child sharing her favorite toy. Zhao Wen's face darkened. Sumo's reaction was completely different from what he had imagined. However, he didn't dwell on it. Seeing everyone else was interested in tasting the eggplant Sumo mentioned, he followed suit. After tasting the eggplant, the foodie Xian Ming fan excitedly gave Sumoe a thumbs up. Whoa, this is really good. I haven't had it in so long. Eating this today is pure bliss. Sumoe responded excitedly to Qian Mengfan, as if she'd found a kindred spirit. You've had it before? That's great! I only found out about this dish today and loved it instantly. Good thing I didn't miss it. Ha ha ha! Let me tell you, based on my experience of eating my way through the world, this stall's grilled eggplant is truly top tier, Qian Mengfan said, sharing her expertise. She grabbed a skewer from the table, and in one swift motion, the entire row of meat was in her mouth, leaving only a stick in her hand. Sumo was stunned. She asked innocently, How? How can you still eat more? Qian Mengfan roughly finished another skewer, and then pulled Sumoe aside. That restaurant Zhao Wen took us to, the portions were so small they barely filled a gap in my teeth. I wasn't full at all. Your Zhang Yu is so much better at picking spots. Sumo's whole body stiffened, and her face turned red instantly. My Zhang Yu? We aren't. Tian Mengfan's long speech turned into scrambled code in Sumo's mind. She didn't remember a single word of what came next. With the addition of Qian Mengfan and the others, I ordered a few more side dishes. Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan didn't eat much, maintaining their posture. I didn't care about them. They could eat or not. Once we were mostly finished, I grabbed the bill and shouted, Boss, check please. Soon, a middle-aged man walked over. The total for this table is 274 yuan. I replied very naturally, "Boss, how about rounding it down? It's a nice whole number and I don't have change on me anyway." The man replied with a smile, "Buddy, we're a small business, we don't make much profit. I'm a return customer. I ate here once half a year ago and thought it was good, so I came back and even brought all these people to support you. Give us a break, boss. We'll come back next time." Hearing me haggle, Zhao Wen nearly laughed out loud. It was his first time seeing someone haggle over a meal. This was way too stingy. The others were also surprised. "You can actually haggle over dinner?" Sumo also looked at me with shocked eyes, but she just thought I was very interesting. I always seemed to refresh her perception over and over, doing things that surprised her but felt reasonable. She was even secretly curious if Zhang Yu could actually talk the price down. Thinking Sumo felt disgusted by my behavior, Zhao Wen fanned the flames. "Who haggles over a meal? It's just 4 yuan. Let it go. The owner needs to make a living too. Why bother?" Not only did he point out my stinginess, but he also indirectly showed off his own generosity and compassion. After speaking, he glanced at Sumo. Surely she'll be turned off by Zhang Yu's low-class haggling now, right? Tonight's heartbeat text will definitely be for me. Ha ha ha, I really didn't expect Zhang Yu to haggle. Look at the expressions on the others, so funny. I'm dying laughing. Who haggles over dinner? Zhang Yu is truly stingy, whereas Zhao Wen is generous. Exactly. If you can afford it, eat. If not, don't. The owner worked hard to grill that stuff. Shouldn't he make money? Cutting 4 yuan just like that? This is a perfectly normal thing. I don't know why everyone is hating. When I go to food stalls, the boss sometimes rounds down the bill for us voluntarily. The owner echoed Zhao Wen's words. It's hard-earned money. Our prices are already very low. Qian Mengfan and Yun Yatong looked at Zhao Wen. Although their faces showed nothing, they gave him a low score in their hearts. Shouldn't you side with your own person in a haggling situation? Even if they didn't like the haggling, he could have chosen to keep quiet. Although Zhao Wen was targeting me, they felt a sense of being backstabbed by a friend. Sumo wanted to say something to help me, but before she could speak, Zhao Wen hurried to speak first. The price is already very cheap. Zhang Yu, you can't tell me you can't even produce 274 yuan? Dropping 4 yuan doesn't make much of a difference. Zhao Wen didn't know what everyone was thinking. He was completely immersed in his own fantasy, trying to use me to build his persona as a wealthy, generous, and manly guy. If you really can't, I'll pay for you. Look at you, all hesitant and stingy. A man shouldn't be like that. You've got to change that habit. He was certain I wouldn't agree to let him pay. After all, what man could tolerate losing face in front of so many beautiful women? He believed I wouldn't be able to swallow my pride. However, he heard me say, "All right." Zhao Wen looked at me blankly. "Didn't you say you'd pay for me?" I said, "Okay." Zhao Wen froze on the spot, not reacting for a moment. "By the way, remember to pay back that 15 yuan you owed me from last night while you're at it." Zhao Wen stood there like a wooden chicken, failing to respond. He had split the previous meal with Tan Yuan. Where would he have any money left now? Let alone 274 yuan, he'd hesitate to produce 4 yuan. But since he had already said the words in front of Sumoe and the other 2 women, how could he refuse? He had to agree and find a way to borrow some money from Tan Yuan privately later. Sumoe and the other 2 girls looked at Zhao Wen's dazed state, lowered their heads, and stifled their laughter. "Ha ha ha ha, Zhang Yu, you absolute genius. I'm dying laughing, my stomach hurts." "Zhang Yu, why can't you follow the script? In a moment like this, shouldn't you pull out 274 yuan and slap it in Zhao Wen's face? Ha 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 ha." Although Zhang Yu's approach was unexpected, it was so satisfying. Who says no to money? Since someone wants to pay, of course you let them. Look at Zhao Wen's face. He finally can't keep up the act. After finishing the task and returning to the villa, the director returned Sumo's phone to her. "Someone called you several times. It seems like something urgent." Sumo took the phone with a confused expression. "Dad, why did you call me so many times? Is something wrong?" Su Qingyu's slightly tired voice came from the other end. "My dear daughter, what have you been busy with lately? You haven't even called your old man once. Don't you know I miss you?" Sumo didn't know her father had already watched the first episode of Heartbeat Melody. Hearing him say he missed her made her feel sweet inside. "I'm recording Heartbeat Melody. You have to support your daughter and watch it. I've made new friends and learned so many things. Just today, my new friend and I even saved a little boy. Isn't your daughter amazing?" Her tone was playful, every word radiating happiness. However, the smile on Su Qingyu's face vanished instantly. He'd already guessed who this new friend was. "What new friend? Tell me about him. He's very interesting. He's a good person, and his cooking is amazing. It's a pity he won't teach me. And he sings really well too. The boy today was saved because he listened to a song he wrote. Isn't that incredible? It's a pity he won't teach me songwriting either." Su Qingyu didn't speak throughout, his expression sinking bit by bit. "Dad, he's good-looking, has a great personality, and sings beautifully. It's just his family background isn't great. Why don't you sign him to our company? Let him be an artist or a songwriter." Just as she finished, the sound of a loud table slam came through the phone. "New friend? I think you mean boyfriend. Do you really think I haven't seen that show you're filming? You've only known each other for a few days and you're already trying to find him a job? Is a useless poor kid like that worth you treating him this way?" Sumo was stunned by the scolding. A sudden sense of grievance surged in her heart. Su Qingyu realized he had been a bit extreme and tried to soften his tone. "Dad's tone was a bit loud just now, but you are my daughter. What kind of man couldn't you find? That heartbeat. Whatever program is just for fun. And like I told you before, if you don't make a name for yourself in the entertainment industry in 6 months, you have to follow my lead. Is the path I arranged for you not good?" Sumo didn't say a word until the call ended. Then she began to cry out of grievance. "I was in my room checking the data for my new book. I didn't expect it to have hit #1 long ago. I casually uploaded 30,000 words from my 50,000 word stash. At this moment, the director knocked on my door. "What is this for?" Wang Yi handed me the phone. "Shamo's manager is looking for you." Why wouldn't Sumo's manager look for her directly? Why make a special call to me? I didn't think I had done anything to Sumo. "Hello, this is Zhang Yu. Is there something you need? I am Sumo's manager, Huang Yuyun. Can you help me find Moe?" I didn't quite understand what she meant. Hasn't Sumo gone to call her father? I called her just now to talk about her participation in singing freely, but I found her emotional state didn't seem right. Although Director Wang said he'd send someone to look, I'm still a bit uneasy. I'm not by her side, and you're the only one in the whole show she's somewhat familiar with. So I wanted to ask for your help. If you find her, could you help comfort her for me? Even though she didn't like me much as a person, at a time like this she couldn't afford to care about that? I thought for a moment and asked, is her relationship with her father bad? Or is it something else? "It's not exactly bad," Huang Yuyun thought for a second and said. "Actually, Chairman Su loves Moe very much. But with Chairman Su's temper, sometimes that love can be a bit extreme. He protects Mo too well, which sometimes leads to communication issues. Most of the time, though, their relationship is very good." I understood the underlying meaning. Su Mo was being pressured by her father, and her father had a bad temper. I understand. I'll go look for her first. I didn't have Sumo's private number, so I had to call the work phone provided by the production team. After a while, it actually connected. "Teacher Zhang!" Sumo's voice was still as crisp and clean as ever, with a hint of a smile in her tone. An outsider wouldn't be able to tell there were any bad emotions mixed in. I even wondered if the manager had misunderstood. "Where are you? Everyone is looking for you. I'm by the lake watching the stars. The stars here are so bright and beautiful." I didn't find the key information I needed from that. After all, the lake wasn't small. "Can you tell me your specific location? I want to watch the stars with you." There was silence on Sumo's end. I didn't call her out, but intentionally fabricated a story. "Aren't you scared? A girl sitting by the lake all alone in the middle of the night?" "No, there are faint lights here, and the moonlight is very bright. I'm not scared." I lowered my voice a bit. "Haven't you heard? In this lake we're at, someone once saw a water ghost, the kind that looks for a substitute at night. They specifically target beautiful girls like you." You're lying." Sumo immediately had a mental image, and she was so scared she started to stutter. "What would I gain by lying to you? Someone really saw it. You're from Kyoto, so it's normal you haven't heard of it since it's so far away." Now Sumo's head was filled with fear. Even the rustling of the wind through the leaves didn't sound right anymore. Then, what should I do? Will I be pulled into the lake? As a substitute? No, I'm coming to find you right now. I won't let the water ghost have its way. As I spoke, I sent Sumo a location share via WeChat. In less than a second, I saw Sumo enter the location share. It seemed this silly rabbit really believed me and was truly terrified. I jogged all the way and quickly found her. Sumo was sitting on the ground, arms around her knees, curled into a ball. As I approached, she was like a startled bird, springing up and running in the opposite direction. It's me. Don't be afraid. The water ghost thing I said just now was a lie. There are no water ghosts. I just wanted to scare you a bit. Hearing there were no ghosts, the tensed-up Sumo finally relaxed. Realizing she'd been played again, Sumo raised her small fists and pounded them against my chest a few times. I was in the wrong this time. Go ahead and hit me until you're satisfied. But as a girl, it's best not to come to such a remote place alone late at night. It's not safe. Sumo's emotions came and went quickly. I sat down beside her. If you're unhappy about something, you can tell me. I'm really not. I'm fine now. She suddenly remembered something. We send the heartbeat texts at 10:30, right? She took out her phone to check the time. Instantly, she became lively again and ran toward the villa. There's only 1 hour left. We can't waste it. I need to hurry and write my song. I sent a message to Director Wang saying Sumo had been found and that we were heading to the piano room together. Sumo immediately opened her sheet music and sat at the piano to start revising her composition. I asked curiously, "Did you write this?" Sumo smiled and admitted it very openly. "Yes, I'll play it once for you. Give me some feedback after you listen." After saying that, she began to play. After a piece of beautiful music, she had a serious expression on her face. I said casually, "It's not bad. Of course, compared to the music of this world, it was okay, but compared to the music from Earth, it was mediocre." Sumo pouted. "But I feel like something is wrong, and no matter how I modify it, I'm not satisfied. How about you help me try to change this piece?" She believed I definitely knew how to write songs and that I had just made up an excuse because I didn't want to teach her. If it's modified well, there will be a corresponding reward. After saying this, Sumo worried it might offend me and quickly waved her hands. I know that for a creator, measuring their work with money is an insult. But I just felt... I interrupted her. I understand what you mean. Who said money is an insult to me? I can't wait to have more of it. So are you willing to help me try to change this piece? Even if it doesn't turn out well, it's okay. I know it's hard. Sumoe sat on the piano stool and looked at me expectantly. Before I could answer, Zhao Wen's voice came from outside the piano room. "Modify what piece? Let me help you change it. I don't need your money." Behind him followed Tanyuan, Qian Mengfan, and Yunya Tong. Tanyuan looked at me and smiled. "Yeah, Brother Zhao Wen's songs are very popular. So many people like them. Letting him change the song for you definitely won't go wrong." Hearing himself being praised, a proud expression appeared on Zhao Wen's face. Sumo looked at me, feeling a bit conflicted. Because the cameramen had followed them in, they were currently being live-streamed. Sumo only wanted me to change the song, but in front of the live stream, she couldn't easily embarrass Zhao Wen in public. Senior Zhao Wen's songs are indeed very good. Why did you all suddenly come down? We heard the sound of your piano and wanted to come see. Wait, I was just focusing on the four of them playing games. When did Zhang Yu and Sumo quietly sneak into the piano room? I didn't see it either. Production team, what's with these two? Are they trying to be different? While the other four were working hard at playing games, these two were on a private date. Ayaya, I told you the Universal Mo CP is real. Zhao Wen was bent on helping Sumo rewrite the score. Mo, what kind of changes do you want for the piece? I heard you're going to participate in singing freely. Are you preparing to sing this piece there? Sumo nodded. Yes, and recording for Singing Freely starts in 3 days. I haven't finished writing my song yet. The time is so tight. Mo, why didn't you say so earlier? It's the perfect chance for me to help you. Zhao Wen intentionally pushed me aside. Let me see the score you wrote, then play it again so I can hear how to change it. Because he was an A-list singer, he naturally assumed he was the best at songwriting among them. To his surprise, Sumo stood up and pulled me back after I'd been pushed. But I already asked Teacher Zhang to help me just now. Even though Teacher Zhang didn't agree, he didn't refuse either. I have to be a person of my word, right? Don't you think so, Senior Zhao Wen? Everyone present looked at Zhao Wen. Visibly, his expression froze for a second. Teacher Zhang and Senior Zhao Wen, 2 different titles showed the special status I had. However, he immediately regained his smile. Indeed, how about this? Both Zhang Yu and I will help you change it. You use the version from whoever does it better. What do you think? Zhao Wen wouldn't give up such a good opportunity to show off. If he could change Sumo's song into a version she liked, she would definitely send him the heartbeat text later. Zhang Yu, do you have any objections? I didn't know you could write songs too. In his eyes, Zhang Yu was clearly just an ordinary migrant worker. What kind of good song could he write? I replied with a smile. There are many things you don't know. I have no objections. No one expected me to agree so decisively, and everyone present showed an expression of disbelief. Did I hear that right? What is Zhang Yu thinking? Why did he agree so readily? It gives me the illusion that Zhang Yu is some big-shot songwriter. Brother Zhao Wen is the best. His songs are the most beautiful. Where does Zhang Yu get his courage? Don't you guys know yet? Zhang Yu actually can write songs, and they are very beautiful. Didn't Zhang Yu say he's a migrant worker who lives off his parents? Do you think someone like that is cut out for songwriting? Mo, play the piece again for me. I'll change it for you first. So Sumo played her unfinished piece once more. Hearing the piece for the second time, I felt a sense of familiarity. Listening closely, I realized it was very similar to Jay Chou's Tornado. Zhao Wen was the first to applaud. It's well written. This is your first time writing a song, right? To be able to write something like this the first time is already very impressive. Even without my changes, it would get a good result. Yeah, I think it sounds pretty good. Why change it? Qian Mengfen laughed with a confused look. Yun Yatong followed up. I also think it sounds good. Tan Yuan laughed a few times. Apart from Moe, only Brother Zhao Wen and Yatong are professional singers here. Since even they say the piece is well written, it must be truly good. Sumo smiled and said, Thank you for the praise. If you keep going, I might float away into the sky, haha. But I still feel there are many flaws. I just don't know which direction to take the changes. Zhao Wen patted his chest confidently. Don't worry, I already have a direction for the modifications in mind. I'll play it for you now. No matter what, since he could make it to the A-list, he had at least some talent. A few minutes later, Zhao Wen finished playing his adapted version. The room erupted in applause. I thought the piece Mo wrote was already good, but I didn't expect it to be so different after Brother Zhao Wen's changes. Indeed, the transitions are much smoother in several places, especially the chorus. It's been elevated. It's not that Mo's original was bad, but that Zhao Wen's version is better. Yun Yatong smiled at Zhao Wen again. As expected of Brother Zhao Wen, to be able to modify the piece to this extent in such a short time. Qian Mengfen, being tone-deaf, could only echo, It sounds good, both sound good, you're all amazing. Zhao Wen was beaming, and though he was floating inside, he said modestly, It's still because Mo's original was good. I just made some minor modifications based on hers. The main credit goes to her. As the person involved, Su Moe had the most say. Zhao Wen's adaptation was indeed much better than her own, and he had made several changes she hadn't thought of, but she still felt it wasn't good enough. After your modifications, it's indeed different. It's modified very well. However, she didn't voice her true inner thoughts. After all, he had worked hard to change the piece for her. Hearing Sumo's praise, Zhao Wen felt even better. Next, let's hear Zhang Yu's adaptation. Tan Yuan and the 2 female guests all turned their heads toward me. Facing such a successful adaptation by Zhao Wen, how would I, an ordinary guy, react? I stood up, stretched, and walked slowly toward the piano. Teacher Zhang, Su Moe called out to me softly from the side. She was a bit worried. Although no one had explicitly said they were being compared, everyone would subconsciously compare the 2 arrangements. Thinking it was her insistence on me changing the song that put me in this position, her heart was filled with apprehension. Little Rabbit, besides needing changes, this piece shouldn't have lyrics yet, right? No. Sumo didn't expect me to ask this suddenly, and her answer was a bit flustered. Then I'll help you write some lyrics as well. Upon hearing this, everyone showed looks of disbelief. Zhang Yu, from a rural background, could write songs and play the piano, and he could modify a piece and write lyrics in such a short time. In such a short time, even Zhao Wen wouldn't dare say he could do both the arrangement and the lyrics. Regarding the lyrics Zhang Yu mentioned, surely he's not just gonna throw a few random words together and call it songwriting. Zhao Wen sneered in his heart, waiting for me to shoot myself in the foot. Tan Yuan had the same thought. As an amateur from the countryside, I had taken enough of the spotlight in front of the female guests. He naturally hoped I would make a fool of myself. The 3 female guests didn't have as many schemes. They were simply surprised that I could both modify music and write lyrics, and they looked forward to seeing what kind of result I could produce. Did I hear that right? Zhang Yu said he not only modified the piece, but also wrote lyrics for it. Looking at Zhang Yu at the piano, he seems very confident. It'll be awkward if he's not as good as Zhao Wen in the end. Sumo should just use Zhao Wen's version. Zhang Yu isn't a professional singer. To those saying Zhang Yu isn't a singer, go listen to his Rose Boy. I just went to listen to Rose Boy. It's good, but it's not certain if the production team's behind-the-scenes crew wrote it or if Zhang Yu did. Even if Rose Boy was really written by Zhang Yu, modifying a piece and writing lyrics in such a short time is not something an ordinary person can do. I hope Zhang Yu doesn't overdo the act. The director, Wang Sheng, perked up the moment he saw me sit at the piano preparing to sing. He immediately directed the cameraman to zoom in on me. My fingers danced on the piano, and a beautiful melody drifted out. Love is like a gust of wind. It leaves as soon as it blows. No one can do anything about this kind of rhythm. After losing you, my soul is out of control. Black clouds are falling, and I am being dragged away by them. Zhao Wen, who had been full of confidence, suddenly turned serious. He stared at me, seemingly unable to believe his ears. Although Qian Mengfan didn't understand music, it was very obvious that the piece I played was not only beautiful, but my singing was also excellent. She tiptoed to Sumo's ear and whispered, "Sing Yu seems to sing even better. I really couldn't tell he could sing and write. He looks so handsome playing the piano." Sumo nodded and smiled without saying anything, watching me at the piano. The piano room light spilled over me, making my profile lines look even more refined. Playing the piano, I seemed exceptionally charming. Sumo felt her heart racing. Although she had only heard a few lines, her heart was already completely moved by the voice. "Go," quietly, silently, leaving. "Falling into the edge of danger, baby. My world is already filled with storms." The song's pitch rose, and the piano rhythm accelerated. It was clear the chorus was coming. At this moment, the number of viewers in the live stream reached another peak, rivaling the popularity of the Rose Boy stream. Wang Yi felt both excited and nervous. He hadn't expected me, an amateur, to have such potential, but he worried I might mess up at the critical moment. After all, the lyrics and music were thought of on the spot, so he worried about the quality. I closed my eyes, and the final note for the word rain was held for a long time. At this moment, everyone present seemed to hold their breath, wanting to hear what kind of chorus could match such a beautiful verse. However, the piano music stopped abruptly. I slowly opened my eyes and stood up. "All right, I'll stop here. The rest isn't suitable to sing now." Everyone present was speechless. Wasn't this playing with people's emotions? They hadn't heard enough. How was this different from taking off your pants only to let out a fart? It felt worse than eating a fly. "Finish the song now. Otherwise, how can I sleep tonight?" "Wah, Zhang Yu, you jerk, playing with my feelings. I want to hear the song." It really sounds so good. I already thought Zhao Wen's adaptation was perfect, but now I support Zhang Yu. Even only hearing half makes me feel Zhang Yu's song is irreplaceable. Zhao Wen's version has to step aside. The guests' feelings were the same as the netizens. Hearing only half was agonizing. Yun Yatong couldn't help asking, why isn't it suitable to sing now? As a singer, even without hearing the whole song, she could tell there were techniques within it. It definitely wasn't as light as I made it seem, but was a very meticulously crafted work. Tanyuan asked in confusion, "Is it because you haven't composed the rest yet, so you can't sing it?" "No," I replied very decisively. "The rest of the song is already stored in my head. It's just that if Little Rabbit wants to perform it on Singing Freely, she needs to keep some mystery. If I sing it all now, what will she have left to sing then? Of course, it still depends on whether Little Rabbit is willing to accept my version." Sumo had almost no hesitation. "Willing? Of course I'm willing. I've decided to use your modified version and lyrics. Hearing Sumo choose me without hesitation, I felt a strange sense of happiness. Zhao Wen, however, was unconvinced. He only sang half. We haven't heard the rest. What if the rest isn't good? Facing such a blunt question, Sumo also replied without hiding anything. But just this first part alone is already modified better than your version. She then glanced at me and smiled. And I believe the quality of the rest of the song will also be very high. Zhao Wen was speechless. He had actually lost to a half-finished product by Zhang Yu, and the opponent was a migrant worker he had always looked down upon. Instantly, a sense of shame rushed to his head, making him not want to stay in the piano room any longer. He walked out in silence. Before he could leave, the director's voice came through. It's about time now. Everyone, go back and prepare for today's heartbeat text segment. So everyone returned to their respective dormitory floors and began thinking about who to send their heartbeat text to. This time, the 3 female guests sat in the common area of the 3rd floor dormitory. The men sat in the common area of the 2nd floor. Tan Yuan looked at his phone, both nervous and expectant. Last time, he hadn't received a single heartbeat text, which felt embarrassing and shameful. But this time, he didn't think that would happen again. After all, during today's interactions, he thought he had performed quite well. Zhao Wen also felt he had performed very well, exercising his gentlemanly demeanor to the fullest. Although the song I wrote for Sumo was recognized by her, my stingy haggling at the food stall was a turnoff, while his generous offer to pay the full bill was clear for all to see. So in comparison, he thought it was hard to say who Sumo would send her heartbeat text to. And that's not even mentioning the other 2 female guests. He had spent the day with them and believed he must have charmed them. Soon, the first heartbeat text came in. The phone ringtone echoed in the quiet lounge area. Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan simultaneously lit up their phones to check, but there was no message. I sprawled on the sofa with an indifferent look, using my hand to rub the back of my neck to stretch it. Then I checked my phone, and just as I did, a second ringtone sounded. Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan suddenly realized something. They both turned their heads toward me, their gazes fixed on me as if trying to bore a hole through me. I gave them a friendly smile in return, then opened the 2 messages on my phone to check. Immediately after, a 3rd ringtone sounded. Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan instinctively lit up their phones. I held up my phone and shook it. It's my phone ringing. Zhao Wen's movement to check his phone paused, the smile on his face freezing for a moment. He threw the phone onto the sofa beside him. Tan Yuan's hand holding the phone tightened further, and he let out a few awkward laughs. Damn it, didn't receive a single text again. At least Zhao Wen is in the same boat this time. I opened the last message. Teacher Zhang, can you teach me your song tomorrow? The whole thing, seeing this text, the smile on my face deepened. I quickly replied, okay. After the heartbeat text segment ended, the producer immediately announced the next part of the program. In the heartbeat text segment just now, only 2 guests successfully sent texts to each other. These 2 guests are Zhang Yu and Sumoe. These 2 guests don't have to go out to work for a dating fund tomorrow. Instead, the production team will provide you 2 with an 800 yuan dating fund. You 2 can distribute the 800 yuan as you wish, and you can also spend your time tomorrow however you like. As for the other 4 guests, since you didn't successfully exchange heartbeat texts, your schedule remains unchanged. You still have to go out and work to earn your own dating fund tomorrow. I couldn't quite believe it. You mean tomorrow we don't have to do anything? We can just stay home and sleep all day and still get 800 yuan? Is that it? The producer was a bit speechless. The production team was creating an opportunity for him and Sumo to be alone, yet he just wanted to sleep at home all day. The producer gave me a side eye and said, according to the rules, you're right, but a cameraman will follow you to live stream the whole time. Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan hadn't expected such a good thing to happen. Their expressions were extremely sour, but they were helpless. Sumoe, knowing she didn't have to go out to work and could get money for free, couldn't suppress a happy smile. Yoon Yetong wasn't very happy with the result, but she didn't blame anyone. She was just in a bad mood and returned to her room with a cold face. Qian Mengfan had sent me a heartbeat text twice in a row out of pure appreciation for me, and a simple desire not to send one to Zhao Wen or Tan Yuan, so it didn't matter to her whether I replied or not. After hearing the producer's arrangements, she immediately showed a mysterious smile and went to Sumo's side, giving her a light nudge with her elbow. Hey, Moao, alone time. Then she gave Sumo a knowing look. Sumo hadn't thought about that yet, but being reminded by Chuan Mengfan like this, she immediately blushed with embarrassment. "It's so late, go get some rest. We've been working together all day, it's nothing unusual." Back in her room, Sumo tossed and turned, unable to sleep. Her mind was filled with anticipation for how they would spend the next day. With that, today's Heartbeat Melody livestream came to an end, but the discussions online were far from over. Shang Yu is truly handsome and talented. He's the treasure boy discovery of the year. I'm starting to doubt. Did he really come from the countryside? This is too unbelievable. Where are the people who said he didn't write Rose Boy himself? What do you have to say about this second song? Who knows if the second song was also written by a team? After all, online things can be fake. What you see isn't necessarily the truth. Singing only half of the second song and then stopping looks like a scripted arrangement. The production team must be pushing Sumo. I don't care who wrote the songs. I'm just here for the CP. The Universal Mo CP is way too sweet. The next day, I still hadn't woken up by 10 a.m. The other 4 guests had long since gone out to work and earn money according to the production team's schedule. It wasn't until I heard a knock on the door that I reluctantly rolled over. The scene of Sumo-e seeing everything yesterday morning was still vivid in my mind. I threw on some clothes and walked over with heavy steps to open the door. Sure enough, Sumo was fully dressed, looking at me with those clear eyes. "You're up!" The moment she saw me, she broke into a vibrant smile and did a little energetic hop on the spot. I gave a grunt of acknowledgement, left the door open, and turned back into the room. Seeing me return to the room, Sumo thought I was going to change my clothes, but before she could even close the door, she saw me, who was supposed to be changing, crawl right back into the covers and lie down. The entire sequence of movements was incredibly fluid. Sumo was left utterly stunned. She wrinkled her nose in a playful pout and walked to my bedside. "Teacher Zhang, get up! It's already past 10 in the morning. Hurry up!" Sumo grabbed my arm and used all her strength to try and pull me up. However, I remained motionless as I lay there. Sumo didn't get discouraged. Instead, she became even more determined, shaking my arm relentlessly. They were live streaming right now, and she didn't want me to get criticized for sleeping in. Shaken to the point of exhaustion by Sumo-e, I groaned. "Does the production team have any arrangements for our schedule today?" Sumo shook her head. I asked again, "Did they tell us to work for living expenses?" "No." "And didn't they give us 800 yuan for living expenses?" Sumo nodded blankly, not understanding why I was asking all this. I crawled back into the blankets with a natural and swift motion. "Then go back and rest. Don't waste a paid vacation." After saying that, I closed my eyes, attempting to catch some more sleep. This time, Sumo wasn't fooled. She spoke with clear logic and a hint of grievance in her tone. "But you clearly said yesterday that you would teach me the new song." I even detected a bit of a spoiled vibe in her voice. "That song isn't hard. With your talent, you can learn it in less than a day. Go back to sleep, okay? I'll teach you when we wake up." Sumo stood by the bed looking at my back, pouting in silence for a moment. Suddenly, she flipped up my blanket and quickly crawled inside, hiding herself completely under the covers. I turned around and saw Sumo lying inside the blanket, smiling at me. "Hee, Teacher Zhang, get up!" I sprang out of bed and pointed at Sumo, who only had her small round head peeking out of the covers. You! I wanted to say, how can a girl have no sense of propriety? We're still being live streamed, but my momentum quickly weakened. Thinking about Sumo's silly and naive personality, she was probably just playing around for fun. She likely didn't even realize what she was doing or what the serious consequences could be. Sumo blinked her large, watery eyes, clear, bright, and foolish. "What about me? I just want you to get up. Who told you to stay in bed?" Finally, she tossed her head with a self-important HMPH. To me, it didn't look intimidating at all. It looked more like she was acting cute, making her seem even easier to tease. "Are you shaking your head to see if you can hear any sound inside?" Sumo's train of thought was immediately led away by me. She moved her head as instructed. "There's no sound." "You didn't hear the sound of water?" Sumo increased the intensity of her head shaking, trying her best to hear something. "Really, nothing?" I was speechless. "All right. It's normal not to hear anything. It means it's empty in there." Ha ha ha, I'm dying of laughter. Zhangyu and Mo are such a hilarious duo. Is Zhangyu indirectly saying that Mo's head is full of water? Exactly. Mo, that silly girl, didn't understand a single word, ha ha ha. In the end, I was forced out of bed by the persistent little rabbit. To my surprise, Sumoe had actually saved breakfast for me. I took a spoonful of warm porridge and put it in my mouth. Who made this? Zhao Wen and Tan Yuan cooked it. They both get up so early every day. They made a lot of porridge today, so I asked them to save a little for you. Her eyes crinkled with a smile, looking like a little puppy waiting for its owner's praise. After I finish eating, I'll write out the score and lyrics for yesterday's song and teach you how to sing it. Sumo nodded happily. Hearing that I would write out the full score and lyrics for Sumo, everyone immediately got excited. Can we hear it? I really want to see what the music and lyrics Zhang Yu wrote for Mo look like. We didn't hear the whole thing last night. Reading the score isn't asking too much, right? I'm so curious. However, the director didn't give the audience a chance to peek at the song. He had the cameraman pull the lens back. The audience could only see a wide shot of me focused on writing and Sumo standing nearby watching. They couldn't see a single detail of the score or lyrics. The audience was so frustrated they were itching for information, constantly cursing the director to have no dinner tonight. I sat in the office chair writing out the score for Tornado. Sumo stood beside me, leaning over to watch. Her attention was entirely focused on the music, completely unaware that her head was resting against my shoulder. Through the director's camera angles, it looked as if Sumo was snuggling against my shoulder. Sumo analyzed as she watched. This is really good. The way you changed this piece is truly amazing. I can't believe the transition here could be done like this. No wonder the piece I wrote earlier sounded so unnatural. I changed it so many times and was never satisfied. You're incredible, Teacher Zhang. I've learned something. Seeing Sumo was absorbed in the score and lyrics, I intentionally held the score up high to tease her. Teacher Zhang, what are you doing? I haven't finished. She hopped on the spot as she spoke, but even jumping, she couldn't reach the notebook. Seeing she couldn't grab it, I lowered the notebook a bit. Sumo's eyes lit up as if seeing hope. She jumped with all her might, but I instantly raised the notebook high again. Going up and down like this for several rounds was like teasing a cat with a feather wand. Endless fun. After failing to grab the notebook several times, Sumo realized she was being played. She stood there, stomping her feet in frustration. Teacher Zhang, you can't do this. All right, I'm done teasing you. Try practicing on your own first. If there's anything you don't understand, you can ask me anytime. Sumo's anger vanished instantly, and she impatiently took the notebook from my hand. The title Tornado fits the lyrics so well. The music is written so perfectly. I love it. Teacher Zhang, are you really willing to give me such a great song? Even as she said that, her arms were tightly hugging the notebook, unwilling to let go. I nodded. It belongs to you. Yay, tilde! Sumo hopped around holding the score, as happy as a child. While Sumo went to practice her singing, I went to the living room to eat snacks, drink cola, and watch TV, enjoying a leisurely time. Wang Sheng was watching behind the scenes, feeling anxious. This is a dating show. What is wrong with this kid Zhang Yu? He immediately radioed the cameraman. Hey, cameraman, go over and remind Zhang Yu to do something. Receiving the instruction, the cameraman whispered a reminder. Mom is practicing alone upstairs. Aren't you going up to teach her? I gave the cameraman a lazy look. I have already marked everything on the score and lyrics. I believe with her professional background, she can understand them without any obstacles. After saying that, I returned to my lazy, still state. Wang Sheng took a long, deep breath, feeling only exhaustion. He even felt like lying down himself, just like me. Ha ha ha! I really like Zhang Yu more and more. It's like seeing another version of myself in him. I also want to zone out on the sofa like Zhang Yu. Every time I see it, I have to marvel at how real Zhang Yu is. He's my soulmate. To Director Wang's surprise, my lazy scenes didn't cause the popularity in the live stream to drop. Instead, the number of viewers increased. This made Director Wang sigh. Society had truly changed. He was getting old and could no longer accurately guess the preferences of young people. Sumo's voice suddenly came through, giving me, half asleep as I was, a start. At this moment, Sumo's cheeks were flushed pink, and the corners of her eyes were tinged with a reddish hue. She looked a bit dazed. What did you just say? I almost fell asleep and didn't hear clearly. There's a note in one part that I don't think I'm singing quite right. Can Teacher Zhang teach me? Sumo repeated what she had just said. Hearing her voice, I frowned and quickly got up from the sofa, reaching out to feel her forehead. She was completely overshadowed by my sudden approach. Looking at me with innocent, wide eyes, she instinctively thought I was annoyed that she was too slow and was going to flick her forehead. She was about to raise her hand to block, but then she felt my large palm pressed against her forehead. Silly girl. You have a fever and you don't even know it? I suspect this silly rabbit has burned her brain out. Me? Sumo asked blankly, pointing a finger at her own nose. Of course you. Your voice is hoarse when you speak. Can't you feel your forehead is this hot? You were already a silly rabbit, and now you're getting sillier from the fever. Sumo looked like a puppy that had done something wrong, saying aggrievedly, I thought my voice was hoarse from practicing. I looked down at Sumo's drooping eyelashes. Her eyelids were flushed due to the heat. I'll go see if there's any fever medicine and take your temperature. If the fever is too high, we have to go to the hospital. Sumo trotted after me. I don't want to go to the hospital. I remember now, the AC in the piano room must have been set too low last night, and I caught a bit of a cold. I'll get better soon. My immunity is very strong. Hearing this, I stopped abruptly. Sumo didn't have time to brake and bumped right into my back. The impact sent Sumo back 2 steps. She lowered her head and shook her little head, which was dizzy from the bump. You felt cold at the piano room yesterday? Sumo looked at me dazed and nodded. A little. But I saw that no one else said they were cold, so I was embarrassed to say anything. This reminded me that last night I thought Sumo's blushing was because the piano room was too hot, so I had turned the AC to the lowest temperature. It turned out the little rabbit's cold was my fault. I took Sumo's temperature and gave her a fever pill. If you don't want to go to the hospital, you have to take your medicine and lie down to rest. But I haven't mastered my song yet. I have to hurry and practice. There isn't much time left. My face turned serious. Fine then, let's go to the hospital. Sumo's fever was probably caused by the pressure she'd been under lately, in addition to the AC. Although she didn't show it normally, it was clear from her emphasis on singing freely yesterday and her persistence with Tornado today. Sumo pouted. I don't want to go to the hospital. I softened my voice as if coaxing a child. If you're good, when you're better, I'll teach you personally. I guarantee you'll learn it in 1 day. Really? Sumo's eyes instantly lit up. Is what Teacher Zhang said true? Really? Since you call me Teacher Zhang, of course I'll teach you. Only then did Sumo go back to her room with peace of mind to lie down and rest. Afterward, I went back to the living room sofa to drink cola, but my mind was elsewhere. She's already taken the medicine, so it should be fine, right? But she looked really uncomfortable. Regardless, her cold is related to me, so I went to Sumo's bedside again. At this moment, Sumo was sleeping soundly, her pink lips parting and closing, as if she were eating something delicious, making ba-woo sounds. I chuckled inwardly at Sumo's adorable sleeping face. Who knew what good food she was dreaming of? I took out an electronic thermometer and placed it against Sumo's forehead, 37.4 degrees Celsius. Although she still had a low-grade fever, it was coming down, so it shouldn't be a major issue. The heart that had been hanging in suspense finally settled. Just as I was about to tiptoe out of the room, I heard Sumo's sleep-talking get louder. Her previously flat brow was now furrowed tightly, and tears slowly flowed out from her closed eyes. I leaned over the bed again to observe her. Is she having a nightmare? Mom. Sumo kept calling out something. Mom? Calling for her mom? Has she only been on the show for a few days and already misses her mom? Truly a silly girl. Sumo was sleeping very restlessly, her tears flowing more and more fiercely, her hands tightly gripping the bedsheets. Looking at her, I was a bit at a loss. After a moment's hesitation, I took her hand that was gripping the sheet. Don't be sad. You'll see your mom soon. After her hand was held, her tears continued to fall, but at least she stopped talking in her sleep. Her expression and tensed body also relaxed. I wanted to pull my hand away and leave, but I found my hand was being held tightly by Sumo. I had no choice but to sit on the floor and lean against her bedside. Eventually, I drifted off to sleep. As I was dozing off, Sumo slowly opened her tear-filled eyes, turned her head to look at me leaning by the bed, smiled, and then closed her eyes again. This didn't just make the carbon monophosphide shipping audience in the livestream go wild. Even the production team's staff were screaming silently inside, their smiles nearly reaching their ears. Ooh, tilde. They're holding hands. And sleeping while holding hands. This kid Jung-yu really knows what he's doing. Just a moment ago, he was on the sofa acting indifferent toward Mo, and now he's actively taking her hand. Truly, a man's mouth is a lying ghost, but the body is more honest than the heart. Wang Yi was all smiles, his face glowing as if he had grown 10 years younger. I woke up with a numb arm and wanted to move my body, but I forgot I was still holding Sumo's hand. I accidentally woke her up with a tug. Our eyes met, and time seemed to stand still. Feeling her soft, tender hand in mine, I froze instantly. You're awake. Let me take your temperature to see if you still have a fever. I stood up quickly, looking around flustered for the thermometer. Sumo shyly lowered her head, pretending nothing had happened. After taking Sumo's temperature, 36.8 degrees. Not bad. The fever is gone. Seems your immunity is quite strong. I'll go put the thermometer back in the medicine cabinet first. After saying that, I walked out of the room. Sumo felt her whole face burning. She hadn't heard a word of what I just said. Her mind was a blur. She quickly pulled the covers up, wrapping herself completely inside to hide her embarrassment. It wasn't until she heard the sound of me opening the door that she hurriedly threw off the covers, let her small head peek out, and closed her eyes, pretending to be sleeping peacefully. What do you want to eat later? Even if you want to sleep, you have to eat something first to replenish your energy. I haven't thought of what I want yet. I'll eat whatever you make. I nodded, took out a phone, and handed it to Sumoe. Sumoe looked at me in confusion. Why are you giving me a phone? I acted mysterious. This is no ordinary phone. Sumo's mouth parted slightly. Isn't this the standard work phone the production team issued? Has Teacher Zhang done something to this phone? So she composed herself and began to study the phone seriously. What's different about it? Can it help you cook? She couldn't help but marvel. Has human technology already developed to this extent? First, there were robots that could farm and kill bugs, and now there are phones that can help cook? Incredible. The production team was also bewildered. The issued phones were sponsored by investors. They were very ordinary phones. What on earth is Zhang Yu up to now? I took the phone back and said seriously, "You're half right." Sumo's eyes twinkled as she looked at the phone, filled with intense anticipation. How exactly was the phone going to help cook? Even the directors were a bit dazed, looking forward to my next explanation in action. Then they saw me unlock the phone and swipe to an app. See this app? You can order takeout, order whatever you want. If you look inside, you'll surely find something you like to eat. The production team was instantly speechless, wishing they could grab me and give me a good lecture. Sumoe had a sudden brainstorm and secretly pressed and uninstalled the app. I thought to myself, my plan failed. This little rabbit isn't that easy to fool anymore. Sumoe leaned back and rolled around with her plush toy. Ah, I don't want that. I want you to cook for me. She no longer cared about her image in front of the camera. She really wanted to experience the feeling of being taken care of while sick. She rolled around on the bed like that until... thump. She fell to the floor and started bawling. I hurried over to check. I knew she was fake crying, but I was still a bit flustered. Get up first. We'll go buy groceries and cook right now, okay? Hearing this, Sumo's crying stopped instantly. She sat up quickly and smiled at me until her eyes curved into crescents. Really? Her beauty made my breath hitch for a moment. Really? At a large supermarket, Sumo rushed straight to the household section to find something for mosquito bites and itching. She held her arm out to me piteously. I got bitten and have a big bump, it's so itchy. She looked just like a child, acting spoiled with a parent. I silently took a bottle of Florida water, toilet water, and put it in the shopping basket. Use this, it's quite effective. I haven't used it before. Sumo picked up the Florida water from the basket and looked at it. Regarding the itch after a mosquito bite, I have a little trick. Do you want to hear it? Sumo's large eyes flickered. She was very tempted by the little trick I mentioned. Looking at Sumo's curious gaze, I acted mysterious. I wouldn't tell just anyone. I specifically turned to face the camera, holding the Florida water up. Everyone watching the live stream can learn this too. You just need to pour the Florida water into an aromatherapy bottle, so the whole room is filled with anti-itch Florida water. Sumo nodded seriously in support, indicating she understood perfectly. Then the mosquitoes in the room will absorb the anti-itch Florida water. That way, by the time a mosquito bites you, it's already been treated, so you won't feel any itch. Sumo continued to nod obediently, but halfway through she suddenly realized something was wrong. The smile on her face gradually faded. Realizing she had been teased again, she huffed and pushed the small shopping cart ahead by herself. "Little rabbit, wait for me." I caught up with Sumo, thinking about whether to say something to ease the atmosphere. Then Sumo spoke. "I want to eat a lot of delicious food today. Teacher Zhang has to make it all for me." I nodded seriously. "No problem." They were buying groceries to cook anyway, and Sumo was sick, so it was only right for her to eat something good to recover. As soon as I answered, I saw Sumo break into a beautiful smile. "Okay, I'm not angry anymore." My heart softened. The little rabbit's personality is really good. For the rest of the time, I stayed at the villa teaching Sumo to practice singing Tornado. Many netizens who watched Heartbeat Melody were very curious about what the second half of Tornado would be like. So even though Singing Freely hadn't started recording, many people were already following it. Because Sumoe had to return to Beijing to participate in Singing Freely, she would be away from Heartbeat Melody for a few days. As a result, the 6 guests became 5, and 1 person would be left out. Therefore, for the past few days, all guests didn't have to go out to work. They only needed to stay in the villa to complete the live stream. Under manager Huang Yuyun's arrangement, Sumoe took a flight back to Beijing early this morning to familiarize herself with the stage at the Singing Freely site. "Mo, are you really sure that song Zhang Yu modified for you is feasible? What does your company say?" "The part he sang was indeed modified well, but I'm just a bit worried about you for the rest of it." Although he spoke words of concern, in his heart, Zhao Wen hoped Sumo's performance of my song would be a disaster. That way, Sumo would dislike me, giving him an opportunity. Sumo has smiled. "Don't worry. Teacher Zhang's strength is very formidable. That song of his is written really well. Have you guys listened to his song Rose Boy online? He wrote that too. He even used that song to save a little boy." "He wrote Rose Boy?" Zhao Wen pretended to be very surprised. "I really didn't expect that. He's a dark horse. Since he's so talented, I'm relieved." But Zhao Wen still felt disdainful, believing that the song's popularity was largely due to luck. I came downstairs and interrupted everyone's conversation. "Morning. I thought I'd be the first one up today, but I didn't expect you all to be earlier." Sumo smiled and joked with me. "If you had woken up any later, you might not have seen me." Seeing me talking to Sumo again, Zhao Wen intentionally changed the subject. "Oh right, Mo. Yesterday I specifically went to a temple to get a career talisman for you. I hope you can overcome all obstacles and take the top spot." As he spoke, he took out an exquisite sachet. "The career talisman is inside. You can carry it with you on stage. Maybe it will ensure your career goes smoothly." Sumo showed a surprised expression. She hadn't expected to receive a gift just for going to sing. "I'll keep it safe." Seeing Zhao Wen giving a gift